Chapter 39. He opened the first page of the 9-stage Thunderblade instruction manual. Fast. The most eye-catching word on the title page made Luo Feng feel like he was looking at a blade coming towards him. His entire body trembled. Keep in mind that this is just a copy of the 9-stage Thunderblade instruction manual. Even the word fast in this copy made Luo Feng's heart tremble. One can only imagine how terrifying the Thunder God, who created this technique, was. Luo Feng continued to read. Of all the techniques in the world, speed is the only thing that can't be broken. When your blade is fast to the limit, then you'll be invincible. Luo Feng opened the first page and saw the flamboyant handwriting. Even Hong's destroyer is the same. His strongest move is also a move that's fast to the limit. With one move, the heavens and earth tremble and nothing can't be destroyed. The essence of the 9-stage Thunderblade I created is one word. Fast. Luo Feng flipped to the second page and continued reading. Why is it so fast? Why is it so powerful? First of all, when your blade is so fast that your opponent can't even react to it. You can slit your opponent's throat before they even have the time to swing their blade. Even if you only have 10% of your opponent's strength, I'm sure their throat won't be able to block your blade. So, speed allows you to attack your opponent's weak points. Next, speed allows your blade to be shockingly powerful. According to the energy calculation method, the attack power of a blade is equal to 0. 5 mv/2. In other words, when a blade's mass is fixed, the faster the blade is, the more terrifying the energy it contains. When it's fast enough, even a water column can pierce through steel. When it's fast enough, even a water column can pierce through steel. Even a piece of paper can cut through steel. Speed allows your opponent to not have time to defend. Speed allows your blade to be unstoppable, whether it's from the angle of attacking the weak points or from the angle of absolute power. Making your blade fast is the best way. Luo Feng nodded. Most fighters in today's society understand this. Only when you reach the limit of speed can you be invincible. There are many martial artists in the world who know this, but those who can put into practice and succeed are few and far between. Thunder God's description in the instruction manual was full of confidence. The 9-stage Thunderblade that I created gave me the fastest blade in the world. It also gave me the world's fastest speed and the strongest physique. Luo Feng's eyes lit up as he listened. The 9-stage Thunderblade contains a complete set of movement technique flowing light, a complete set of Dao Yin technique, 9-stage chaotic origin, and a complete set of blade technique Thunderblade. Among the three, the Daoyin technique is the most fundamental. Only by relying on the Daoyin technique can you have a strong physique. Physical fitness is the foundation. Saber arts and body arts, on the other hand, are techniques that require repeated practice and comprehension. Luo Feng continued to read. There were a total of 3 parts of the Dao Yin technique recorded in this instruction manual. According to the secret manual, the 9-stage chaotic origin Dao Yin technique had a total of 9 volumes. For the same reason, this secret manual only had the first 3 levels of the saber technique. His movement technique was only at the first 3 levels. Luo Feng read everything word by word. He raised his head. At this time, the sun was already very hot. The August sun shone through the window, making the entire training hall even more dazzling. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Luo Feng was completely subdued by the 9-stage Thunderblade created by Thunder God. Even though it only had the first 3 stages, the first 3 stages were enough to stun Luo Feng. Compared to this instruction manual, the so-called techniques on the internet are like fireflies compared to the sun. Let's test this technique. Luo Feng solemnly placed the instruction manual in the corner of the training hall. He then took out his ghost blade and unsheathed it with a chi sound. The ghost blade was 101 centimeters long, 78 centimeters long, and 2 centimeters wide. This blade has already been sharpened, and its main material is grade 2 Koluo alloy. This ghost blade, even at half price, still costs 3 million and weighs 112 kilograms. Begin. Who? Luo Feng stood in the middle of the training hall, and swung the ghost blade in his hand over and over again. The reason why the 9-stage Thunderblade is so powerful is because it relies on a special method of force exertion. When a normal person swings his blade, he might use 100% of his strength. And when a practitioner of the 9-stage Thunderblade swings his blade, he will only use 70% of his strength. After using the first layer of force, they will try their best to use the second layer of force, which is the same 70% of their strength. 2 layers of force, which is 140% of their strength. The 9-stage Thunderblade is split into 9 stages. The first stage allows you to use 1 more layer of force, which is 140% of your strength. The second stage allows you to use 2 more layers of force, which is 210% of your strength. The third stage allows you to use 3 more layers of force, which is 28% of your strength. The 9th stage allows you to use 9 more layers of force, which is 70% of your strength, which is a whole 7 times your original strength. What does that mean? In other words, if a beginner-level warrior reaches the 9th stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade, then he can match up to a beginner-level warlord. So difficult, the rumors were right. This 9-stage Thunderblade is extremely difficult to learn. Even a beginner level is this hard. Luo Feng continuously swung his blade hundreds of times, trying to see if he can use 1 more layer of force on top of the previous blade. But he couldn't do it. Too difficult. Keep in mind that swinging the blade is over in an instant. In such an instant, it was simply impossible for the body to exert strength from the inside after the first slash. I still can't bite off more than I could chew. The first stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade has 18 blade techniques. According to the instruction manual, practicing these 18 blade techniques will help you understand the first stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade, Luo Feng nodded. As the saying goes, reading a book 100 times will reveal its true meaning. After practicing these 18 blade techniques many times, as long as you have a bit of comprehension, you will naturally understand the essence of the technique. Feng, time to eat. Feng, hurry up, his parents' voices carried from downstairs. I'm coming. Luo Feng put his ghost blade back into its scabbard and hung it on the wall. He then put the 9-stage Thunderblade instruction manual back in his room and went downstairs to eat. Time passed. Even though Luo Feng joined the Firehammer Squad, the Firehammer Squad was on vacation. Luo Feng took this opportunity to study the 9-stage Thunderblade, his technique, and his Dao Yin technique. Out of these, the Dao Yin technique and genetic energy training had the most obvious effect. Luo Feng's body's strength increased by a large amount. As for the 9-stage Thunderblade, Luo Feng didn't even complete the first stage. Even though he didn't complete it, Luo Feng's technique has become more agile and his control over his blade technique has improved by quite a bit. Even though I can't instantly unleash a wave of force, at least my control over my muscles is much more precise than before. Luo Feng was alone in the training hall as he silently put on his battle uniform pants. On the outside of his pants were 5 throwing knives, and on his feet were alloy battle boots. On his body was a battle vest, his arms were bare, and he wore wrist guards on both of his hands. On his back was a fighter's bag, a hexagonal shield, and a ghost blade. On the wrist guard of his right hand was a tactical communications watch. In his bag, he prepared water and some high-calorie food. Today, August 28th, is the first time I leave the headquarters city and officially start a mission. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. Indeed, today is the day the Firehammer Squad leaves. Luo Feng. Cannon Chingu yelled from outside. I'm coming. Luo Feng responded and immediately ran downstairs. As he got downstairs, he saw his father, Luo Honghua, and mother, Gong Xianlan, standing on one side in the living room. His brother, Luo Hua, sat in his wheelchair and also silently looked at Luo Feng. They knew that today is the day Luo Feng leaves the headquarters city and enters the wilderness. The wilderness is a general term for the areas on the continent outside of human headquarters cities. It includes ruined cities, suburbs, mountains, forests, lakes, etc. Feng, be careful. Gong Xianlan couldn't help but to say. Don't worry, Mom. Luo Feng grinned, nodded towards his dad, and then looked towards his brother, Luo Hua. Brother, maybe when you come back, you'll be able to eat my wedding candy. Luo Hua suddenly laughed. Wedding candy? That's fast. You haven't even known that girl for 2 months, right? Laughed Luo Feng. Our relationship is good, so what if it's fast? Luo Hua laughed proudly. All right, when I come back, I'll eat your wedding candy. Make sure to get some delicious wedding candy for me. Laughed Luo Feng and rubbed his brother's head. All right, Mom, Dad, I'm leaving. I'll be back in a few days. After saying that, Luo Feng directly ran out the door and met up with Chenggu, who was at the entrance of the villa. Luo Feng and his family watched Luo Feng, who was dressed in battle uniform, and another similarly burly man, who was also fully equipped, swiftly leave. Let's go, Luo Feng. The three of us will go to the HR Alliance market and meet up with the captain. After that, we'll head out together and head towards the wilderness. Yes, Brother Chun, Luo Feng, Chenggu, and another man with a spear on his back got on the Limit Hall's car and swiftly departed. Chapter 40. Jiangnan Headquarters City, one of the 6 headquarters cities in China, was extremely rich. In the main city area, there was a skyscraper that was 88 stories tall. On the wall of this skyscraper, there were 2 eye-catching English letters, HR. Around the first floor of the skyscraper, there was a beautiful plaza, as well as the largest fountain in Jiangnan Headquarters City. Around the plaza, there were over 1,000 soldiers patrolling, preventing outsiders from taking a single step inside. The passers-by that passed by all looked at this skyscraper with curiosity and envy. In the entire Jiangnan city, most people have never entered it in their entire lives. Beep! An electronic sound rang. Immediately, the patrolling soldiers gave way, and a military off-road vehicle with HR printed on it drove in and stopped at the entrance of the skyscraper's lobby. Hua! The door opened, and 3 fully armed martial artists could be seen. They were either carrying a spear, a saber, and a shield, or 2 large metal boxes on their backs. Sir, please enter. The doorman at the entrance of the skyscraper's lobby respectfully bowed. These 3 fighters directly entered the skyscraper. Come, Luo Feng, let's go sit at the bar on the side and wait for the captain, and the others laughed Chenggu. I haven't seen the captain yet, so I wonder what he looks like, laughed Luo Feng. At the same time, he carefully observed this HR Alliance market. This is the underground alliance formed by the super families and financial groups of the world. As their headquarters in Jiangnan Headquarters City, the entire skyscraper was extremely luxurious. The lobby's floor was so shiny that one could see one's reflection. Even some of the simple decorations were extraordinary. The waiters in the lobby, the men were handsome and the women were alluring. Every single one of them had a refreshing smile on their faces. Luo Feng, Chenggu, and another team member, Zhang Ku, all sat on the sofa. Gentlemen, what would you like to drink? The waitress slightly bowed and smiled as she asked. Taiguanin, pu'er tea, with a bit of jasmine flavor. Canon Chenggu and Zhang Ku, these 2 experienced fighters, directly spoke. Luo Feng was a bit shocked when he heard this. In the dojo of limits, these 2 often drank. Zhang Ku, who had a pair of muscular arms like that of a gibbon, laughed. Luo Feng, you can't be careless in the wilderness, so you can't drink. Luo Feng realized, right? You can't be careless in the wilderness. How can you drink right now? Give me a cup of pu'er too. Luo Feng smiled. The quiet sound of music reverberated in the hall. It was a song played by a flute. As for what song it was, with his taste, he could not recognize it at all. However, the sound of the flute was sometimes melodious and soothing, and sometimes it was fast and light, making one's soul feel much more refreshed. Luo Feng, the first floor is where the guests rest. Going up from the second floor is where we sell items in the mall. Chenggu smiled. This is the Underground Alliance Mall. Usually, it was cheaper than the full price of the items in the Home of Limits online store. Of course, it's higher than our half price. Luo Feng nodded. Half price, that's for the members of the Dojo of Limits. The biggest advantage of the Underground Alliance Mall is that we can sell some of the monster body parts that we kill to them at a high price. Chenggu explained, if we sell the monster body parts to the dojo, then we will sell it to them. The price is relatively low, but the dojo will give us contribution points. If he sold it to the Underground Alliance market, The price would be high, but he wouldn't get any contribution points. Naturally, it's up to you to choose, Luo Feng smiled. He already knew about this after reading a few posts on the fighter discussion boards. Selling it to the dojo gives you contribution points and money. Selling it to the Underground Alliance only gives you money, but the price is high. Brother Wong, you've been up for half the night. Go rest. Leave this to me, a clear and gentle voice rang. Luo Feng, who was holding a cup of tea, suddenly turned his head as if he was shocked by electricity. What he saw was a young girl wearing a white shirt and a black suit changing shifts with another manager. In this bar, there were a total of 12 waiters and 1 manager. It's open 24 hours a day and changes shifts every 8 hours, with 3 shifts. Su Xian? Luo Feng looked in disbelief at the female manager behind the bar. She looked like a professional woman, and her actions were naturally noble. To be able to become the manager of the bar in the Underground Alliance Mall, she definitely isn't a position that just anyone can enter. This is a place specially made to serve fighters. Even a regular waiter would have to graduate from a famous university and go through many training courses, not to mention a bar manager. Su Xian, that simple high school girl from before. How did she suddenly become so different? Brother Chun, Brother Zhang, I'll go over for a bit. Luo Feng's bag, shield, and blade were all placed on the sofa, and he smiled as he stood up and walked towards the bar. In the bar, Su Xian lowered her head and checked the drinks and other supplies in the bar. Suddenly, Su Xian, a familiar voice rang. Su Xian was shocked. In the lobby of the first floor, people who knew her real name usually called her manager Su. An ordinary martial artist didn't know her name. How could someone call her Su Xian? Moreover, this voice was so familiar. Su Xian raised her head. At this time, Luo Feng lowered his head and looked inside the bar. Su Xian, who was half squatting while checking the drinks, raised her head. The two's gazes met. At this time, Luo Feng and Su Xian both had a sudden feeling, and their hearts started to throb. Luo Feng, why are you here? Su Xian reacted and stood up as she smiled. Even you, Su Xian, could be a manager here, so why can't I be here? Luo Feng smiled as he said. As he looked at the young girl in front of him, Luo Feng couldn't help but to think back to when he was in high school. He sat in the back of the classroom and silently stared at Su Xian's back. He had a crush on her for a long time, but he never had the chance to say it. He thought that it would be hard for him to see Su Xian again, but who would have thought that he would see her in the HR Alliance market? And he saw Su Xian before he went to the wilderness for the first time. Ah, Luo Feng, you're a fighter now? Su Xian saw Luo Feng's appearance and couldn't help but to be surprised. Yeah, I'm going to the wilderness soon, laughed Luo Feng. Wilderness. Su Xian's face slightly changed. In the entire world, other than headquarters cities, all areas are called the wilderness. To the humans living in headquarters cities, the wilderness is another name for death. That place is filled with all sorts of monsters. Some are sinister, some are powerful, and some are almost invincible. In those kinds of places, only the strongest fighters can go there and fight against the monsters. Su Xian didn't think that Luo Feng was a fighter and that he was about to enter the wilderness. To be honest, Su Xian knows that Luo Feng likes her a bit, but there's no way to hide this. Luo Feng often sneaks glances at people's backs during class. Su Xian occasionally turns around and sees Luo Feng staring at her. Naturally, Su Xian understands Luo Feng's thoughts. It's just that neither of them pointed it out. Luo Feng, the captain's here. Come over, yelled Chenggu. I'm going, said Luo Feng to Su Xian. Okay, nodded Su Xian. Luo Feng walked back to his original position. At this time, 3 more people came. 2 of them looked very similar, obviously twins. Both of them had a shield and a scimitar on their backs. And the third person had an incomparably sturdy body. On his back were 2 black hammers that had specks of silver. Luo Feng. These 2 are the famous twin moon scimitar Wei Jia brothers. Wei Tai and Wei Qing, laughed Chenggu. The Wei Jia brothers nodded towards Luo Feng, took off their shields and scimitars, and sat down. Brother Tai, Brother Qing, smiled Luo Feng as he greeted. The other members of the Fire Hammer squad were all quite a bit older than Luo Feng, at least 10 years older. Compared to the other 5, Luo Feng was indeed a little brother. "This is the captain of our Fire Hammer Squad, Twin Windhammer Gao Feng," said Chenggu. Luo Feng couldn't help but to carefully look at the captain, Gao Feng. Gao Feng wasn't too tall, only around 1.8 meters. The most special thing about him was that his body was way too sturdy, as if he was made out of steel. Gao Feng grinned, and the muscles on his face were like rocks. "Luo Feng, you also use blades. When you enter the wilderness, learn from Wei Tai and Wei Qing. You're quite talented, so I'm sure you'll quickly become a member of our squad." "Okay," nodded Luo Feng. No matter what, his number one goal right now is not to become a burden to this elite warlord squad. "Rest for a bit. We'll head out soon," said Gao Feng. "Yes, Captain." Including Luo Feng, the other 5 nodded. After just 20 minutes, Gao Feng and the others, who finished their tea, stood up. "Let's go." To the wilderness, Luo Feng immediately put his ghost blade, shield, and other items on his back. "Luo Feng," a voice rang. Luo Feng turned his head. Su Xian's chest was slightly moving up and down. She didn't know why, but when she thought about how Luo Feng was about to enter the dangerous wilderness, Su Xian panicked a bit. Maybe Su Xian had a special feeling towards this boy who had a crush on her in high school. Luo Feng looked at Su Xian. "I'll be starting school in a few days, but during college, I'll be the manager here on Saturdays and Sundays," yelled Su Xian. "You have to come when that time comes." After yelling this, Su Xian's face was a bit red. "Okay, I'll definitely come." Luo Feng let out a smile. "You got her so quickly." "Impressive," laughed Chenggu, who was on the side, as he patted Luo Feng's shoulder. "This is the benefit of being young. All the beauties are throwing themselves at you," laughed Gao Feng, who was on the side. Since they decided to let Luo Feng join the Fire Hammer Squad, they naturally treated Luo Feng as a brother. Luo Feng only laughed. "Let's go, get on the car." The 6 members of the Fire Hammer Squad got on the HR Alliance's private car and headed towards the train station. They rode the train out of the headquarters city towards the wilderness. Chapter 41. A few hundred miles north of Jiangnan headquarters city, there was a military base. Rumble. The train slowly stopped at the military base station. One by one, fully armed warriors got off the train. There were more than 20 of them, and they were naturally divided into 4 small teams. Luo Feng, when we fighters go out to hunt monsters, we'll go to the military base to replenish our supplies. Chenggu pointed at a place in front of them. There was an iron tower that was about 50 to 60 meters tall. "Do you see this tower? The entire country of China, and even the entire world, in any military region, there will be a special area designated as a supply base for martial artists, specifically for martial artists to rest. This fighter supply base usually has a lighthouse like this. It's meant to light the way home for us fighters." Luo Feng nodded. The fighter supply base was located within the military base. There were many quiet buildings, and the environment was very good. "Fire Hammer Squad, you will live and rest in E6. An officer of the supply base passed a key to the captain of the Fire Hammer Squad, Gao Feng, and patted Gao Feng's shoulder with a smile. "Old Gao, how long are you planning to hunt this time? If you get any good stuff, feel free to sell it to the Underground Alliance. I'll definitely give you a high price." Inside the supply base, there were quite a few people wearing military uniforms. However, in reality, the service personnel of the fighter supply base came from the Dojo of Limits, the Thunder Dojo, the government's army, and the Underground Alliance. They were there to provide services, but at the same time, they would also purchase some valuable monster materials from the fighters. "Haha, sure," Gao Feng laughed. "Hurry up and arrange for some people to equip us for lunch." This supply base wasn't too big. E6, over there, the Fire Hammer Squad quickly found the 3-story building that represented E6. The key with the microchip swiped across the door, and the door to the 3-story building opened. Before the Fire Hammer party left the supply base, the right to use this small building belonged to the Fire Hammer party. "Let's lie down and sleep for a bit. I didn't sleep well last night." Changgu put down the 2 big metal boxes on his body, jumped directly onto the sofa, and stretched on the sofa. "If you want to rest, then rest. We'll officially leave tonight, so make sure you all stay alert," commanded Captain Gao Feng. Understood. Steel Spear Zhang Ku and the twin Moon Scimitar brothers all laughed as they responded, clearly knowing the rules. Leaving at night? Luo Feng was shocked. Luo Feng, look at the weather right now. It was the end of August, the hottest time of the year. Carrying hundreds of kilograms of stuff on his back on such a hot day, no matter how much water you bring, it won't be enough. At that time, you can only drink water from the river. Chun Gu smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. It's cooler at night, so isn't it better to travel? It can also save water. Luo Feng smiled awkwardly. Although he had read many posts, he really didn't notice this point. Luo Feng's gaze passed through the window and saw a figure in the resupplying base. Brother Chun, look, isn't that Zhang Zehu? At this time, Zhang Zehu's body was wrapped in gauze, and there were faint traces of blood on the sandbag. Clearly, Zhang Zehu was injured and was currently recuperating in the supply base. Chingu also turned around. Yes, it's Zhang Zehu. Hey! Chingu walked to the door and shouted proudly. Mountain-splitting tiger, what happened to you? Weren't you fine last time? How did you get injured like this in the blink of an eye? Zhang Zehu, who was walking and chatting with his companions, couldn't help but to turn his head and look. With a glance, he saw Chenggu, Luo Feng, and the others at the entrance of the building. He was so angry that his teeth itched, but he suppressed his anger and instead laughed loudly. Chinda Pao, your Fire Hammer squad is also an elite squad. So why did you bring newbie? Haha, aren't you afraid that your entire squad will be dragged to death by this burden? Usually, elite squads that work well together rarely bring newbies. Because even if a newbie has a good fitness level, he doesn't have any experience. If he drops the ball at a crucial time, he can easily drag down the older members. After Zhang Zehu and Chun Gu mocked each other for a bit, because the captain dual wind hammer Gao Feng scolded him, Zhang Zehu didn't say anything else. Even though he sometimes dares to compete with Chen Gu, he doesn't dare to compete with Gao Feng. This was because Gao Feng used cold weapons, while Chun Gu used hot weapons. With firearms, even if you reach the max, you can at most reach the beginner warlord level. Because firearms and other firearms can usually only threaten beginner commander level monsters. Zhang Ze, who is only a little bit away from the warlord level. Fuck, who would have thought that this Luo Feng would actually join the Fire Hammer squad? Zhang Ze, who and his teammates walked on the road as he cursed. I thought he would join a normal fighter squad. That way, I would be able to teach him a lesson and let him know the consequences of messing with me. But he actually joined the Fire Hammer squad. Zhang Ze, who clenched his teeth in anger. Who? The young man beside Chenggu, just now. Is that Luo Feng who made you spend 100 million? The one-eyed middle-aged man on the side spoke. Yeah, that's him. Zhang Ze, whose eyes flashed with an ominous light. This little bastard, I thought he wouldn't go too far. After that negotiation, the security bureau directly came to my nephew's house. And this kid actually directly reported it to the security bureau. I was forced to immediately donate 100 million in my nephew's name to the country, allowing my nephew to obtain the title of one-star citizen. But even so, my nephew will still be locked up for a few months. Thinking of his brother's anxiousness at the time, as well as Zhang Haobai's fear when he was taken away by the security bureau, Zhang Ze, who became even more furious. Previously, he had made a promise to his elder brother and nephew, although he later spent 100 million to protect his nephew. But Zhang Haobai was imprisoned for a few months and suffered a bit, so he couldn't escape. Forget it, don't think too much. It will do your nephew good to suffer a little. The one-eyed middle-aged man said with a faint smile, you should make the most of your time and rest well. I estimate that your injuries will heal in another 3 days. At that time, we can set off and continue to deal with that old man. Once we kill that old fellow, our team will be rich. Yes, Zhang Ze, who heavily nodded, then glanced at the distant E6 building and sneered. I'm willing to bet that this Luo Feng will either die or be heavily injured the first time he enters the wilderness. Haha, you sure have a lot of resentment towards him. However, injuries are unavoidable since it's your first time in the wilderness, laughed the one-eyed middle-aged man. In the evening, the 6 members of the fully armed Fire Hammer squad left the resupplying base and entered the wilderness. "Chingu, give me one of your metal boxes," said the captain, Gao Feng. "Haha, sorry for the trouble, Captain. I can carry these 2 boxes for a short period of time, but I won't be able to if I carry them for a long period of time." As he said that, Chingu handed one of the large metal boxes to the captain. Gao Feng easily received it with one hand and carried it on his back. This bit of weight was nothing to the strongest fighter of the Firehammer squad, Gao Feng. "Ka." Chingu opened the other box. Inside was a completely silver-gray machine gun. The muzzle of the gun flashed with a metallic luster. Other than this machine gun, there were also large amounts of chains of bullets. At a glance, it looked like they were densely packed together, filling up the entire metal box. One could only imagine how many bullets there were. "Brother Chen, what kind of gun is this?" asked Luo Feng curiously. "M81 model 12, 7mm caliber. It can fire between 50-300 rounds per minute, and it can be adjusted." Chungu laughed proudly. "The entire body of the gun is mixed with some grade 3 Kuluo alloy. Even if it continuously fires bullets, the heat from the barrel won't affect the accuracy of the bullets." Luo Feng was confused. "Brother Chun, why aren't you using the Vulcan cannon? Isn't the Vulcan series of machine guns widely known to be powerful?" "You noob." Chungu glared. The spear Zhang Ku on the side also laughed. "Luo Feng, the Vulcan series heavy machine gun is indeed powerful. However, the amount of bullets used by the Vulcan series is insane. 7,000 rounds per minute. Some of the higher-end ones are even faster. Do you know what that means? 7,000 rounds per minute. And bullets that can threaten a low-level warlord-level monster weigh at least 50 grams. 10,000 bullets would weigh 500 kilograms. You're carrying 500 kilograms of bullets on your back, and you're traveling a few hundred miles. When you're killing the monster, the Vulcan cannon will run out of bullets within a minute," laughed Zhang Ku as he looked at Luo Feng. "What do you think of the Vulcan series?" Luo Feng realized. He really didn't understand this. Yeah, the weight of the bullets is indeed a huge problem. 7,000 rounds per minute. How many bullets do you need to bring to play? Other than the army, or those who specialize in dealing with monsters, or those who specialize in transporting large amounts of bullets and Vulcan machine guns. Normally, people like us can't use those kinds of machine guns. We don't have that many bullets, laughed Chingu. I brought a total of 10,000 bullets this time. I also need the captain to help me carry some of them. Chungu's body was wrapped in a chain of bullets, and he held the machine gun in his hand. Luo Feng and the 2 of them were in the middle of the group, protected by the others. The twin moon Scimitar brothers were at the front of the group. Captain Gao Feng and Zhang Ke were at the back. "If we follow this highway, we'll arrive at our destination, number 0201 city," said Captain Gao Feng. Luo Feng couldn't help but to look at the highway in front of him. Highways only exist in legends for humans living in headquarter cities. The highway under his feet has long been ruined, and there were quite a few cracks on the road. With a glance, you could see broken cars, vans, trucks, etc. everywhere on this highway. Even some broken tires were lying everywhere. From time to time, blackened bloodstains could be seen on the ground. "Let's go." The reddish rays of the setting sun shone on the silent and dilapidated highway that had been in disrepair for decades. The 6 members of the Firehammer squad were advancing along this highway. Howl! Howl! The roars of monsters came from the fields on both sides of the highway and the ruined villages. Luo Feng could even see the shadows of quite a few monsters. The other 5 members of the Firehammer squad were very relaxed, but Luo Feng didn't dare to relax at all. He couldn't relax at all, because he could see the existence of monsters everywhere. "Okay, Luo Feng, there's a horn boar that's between A, G, and F grade. I'll leave it to you." Captain Gao Feng's voice rose. "This is your first battle in the wilderness." Chapter 42. Luo Feng, this is your first battle. Don't get careless. The wild nature of these monsters is much stronger than the monsters in the military." Chingu reminded seriously. Luo Feng laughed. He could feel Brother Chen's concern. In this Firehammer squad, the ones closest to him are undoubtedly Chungu and Zhang Ku, who live in the same Mingyue sector. As for Captain Gao Feng and the Wei brothers, after all, they did not know each other. As a newcomer, it would not be easy for him to gain the acknowledgement of Gao Feng and the other two. Good luck, Luo Feng. Right now, your speed and reaction speed have just reached the high-level warrior level's physical fitness standard. Your strength is close to that of a high-level warrior. Dealing with this horned wild boar shouldn't be a problem. Iron Spear Zhang Ku also gave a rare encouragement. The other three, Captain Gao Feng and the Wei Jia brothers, all looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng pulled out his ghost blade, held the shield in his left hand, and gripped the ghost blade in his right. He slightly smiled. Captain, Brother Chun, watch me get the horn of this horned boar. As Luo Feng said that, he swiftly moved forward. He watched as Luo Feng left. Captain, aren't you asking too much of Luo Feng to fight a near F-grade horned boar in his first battle? Chun Gu couldn't help but to say, even though our Fire Hammer squad should test Luo Feng, we have to do it step by step. It's better to get a G-class monster first. Yes, we can't be too hasty, Zhang Ku also said. Captain's arrangement is not a problem. The eldest of the Wei Jia brothers, Wei Tai, said in a low voice, Luo Feng's body fitness level isn't any weaker than that monster's. Even though it's a bit harder, he should be able to win after suffering a bit. This is his first time in the wilderness. Zhang Ku is a little dissatisfied. So what if it's the first time? I don't want him to be a burden to us. Otherwise, how would we dare to hunt powerful warrior-level monsters with a newbie? Wei Qing frowned. At this moment, of the 5 old members of the Fire Hammer squad, Chun Gu and Zhang Ku obviously sided with Luo Feng, while the Wei Jia brothers looked at Luo Feng with suspicion. Stop arguing, Gao Feng said. Chun Gu and the others quietened down. Watch the battle between Luo Feng and the horned boar, said Gao Feng expressionlessly. Luo Feng was like an agile leopard as he swiftly scuttled behind an overturned car on the highway. He looked towards the horned boar not far away. This horned boar's entire body was covered in black fur, like black steel spikes, and its dark gray horn was like a sharp knife. Under the afterglow of the evening sun, the single-horned knife reflected a cold light. If one were to say that the iron fur wild boar was like a heavy Hummer during the warrior combat assessment, it was wild and ferocious. The feeling that this single-horned wild boar gave off was that it was agile and valiant. This is my first battle. I must fight beautifully. The reason I was able to join the Fire Hammer squad was partly because of Director Zhuge's request, but more importantly, it was because of Brother Chun and Brother Zhang's help. Luo Feng was very clear on one thing. It's very hard for a rookie to join an elite warlord-level squad. Captain Gao Feng and the Wei Jia brothers are clearly suspicious of him, so he has to prove himself through battle. Luo Feng stared at the hunting horned boar in front of him. The 3 levels of H, G, and F respectively correspond to beginner, intermediate, and advanced B soldiers. Clearly, this horned boar in front of him is close to the F level. Roar, roar. The horned boar let out a roar and scanned its surroundings with killing intent. It found me. Luo Feng's heart rate sped up, and he was a bit excited. Boom! The horned boar ferociously sprinted, as if it had turned into a speeding tank. It directly rammed into the broken car that Luo Feng was hiding behind. Luo Feng was like an agile monkey as he swiftly dodged. With a rumble, the car was sent flying. At the same time, it rolled a few times on the highway. The body of the car, which has been exposed to the elements for dozens of years, directly split apart. The wheels also rolled on the highway for a while before falling. The moment Luo Feng dodged, he immediately charged towards the horned boar. Bastard die! Luo Feng roared. His entire body was like a bolt of lightning as he directly shot towards the horned boar. The ghost blade in his hand instantly drew a cold light as it slashed towards the horned boar's neck. The horned boar that sent the car flying didn't seem to be able to turn in time, but when Luo Feng got close to it, whoosh! A black shadow came towards Luo Feng's head. So fast, Luo Feng jumped in shock. He exerted force in his legs and barely managed to twist his body to dodge the black shadow. This black shadow was the horned boar's iron whip-like tail. Pu! Pu! After whipping its tail, the horned boar's agility instantly soared, and it ferociously pounced towards Luo Feng. Its thick iron hooves and sharp horn directly stabbed towards Luo Feng. Damn, this horned boar is way too fast. Luo Feng immediately took a step back and raised a shield in his hand. Pong! The shield and the horned boar's iron hooves fiercely clashed. At the moment of impact, Luo Feng used the rebounding force to swiftly dive backwards. He rolled on the ground, and the horned boar chased after him. Luo Feng flipped and stepped on the body of an old truck, and with another flash, he hid behind the truck. The truck's obstruction caused the horned boar's rapid charge to be ineffective. The 5 members of the Fire Hammer Squad who watched from afar slightly nodded their heads. "Captain, Luo Feng's reaction isn't bad, right?" laughed Chengu. Captain Gao Feng slightly smiled and nodded. "Yeah, not bad. I thought that since it's his first time facing this horned boar, he would suffer a bit, but I didn't think that his reaction speed would be this fast. Also, his fundamentals are pretty good, and his shield's deflection was very ingenious. His movements were like flowing water. This Luo Feng wasn't even injured by the horned boar's attack." Okay, the Wei Jia brothers, who had a cold expression on their faces, loosened a bit. "Wei Tai, Wei Qing, Luo Feng isn't bad, right?" Zhang Ku also let out a smile. "This battle isn't over yet, so it's hard to say," said Wei Tai coldly. The 5 members of the Fire Hammer Squad continued to watch the battle between Luo Feng and the horned boar. Luo Feng was extremely focused as he thought to himself, "This horned boar is so sneaky. At the beginning, it purposely showed weakness to me. Then, it suddenly attacked me with its tail. At the same time, it attacked with its hooves and hornblade. And then, it charged crazily at the end. Thankfully, I've been practicing the 9-stage Thunderblade these past few days, so my control over my body strength has improved. If he hadn't been practicing the 9-stage Thunderblade for the past month, I'm afraid that Luo Feng would have to use his spiritual force to protect himself from this wave of attacks from the horned boar." Roar! The horned boar howled. It didn't stupidly charge into the truck, but instead jumped over it and swiftly charged towards Luo Feng. "Bastard, this time, you're dead for sure." Luo Feng ferociously kicked a broken tire on the side. As if it was shot by a catapult, the tire swiftly flew towards the horned boar. The horned boar didn't slow down at all. It only slightly lowered its head. The horn on its head was incomparably sharp, and it directly sliced the tire in half. After that, the tire fell off. And after Luo Feng kicked the tire, he immediately charged towards the horned boar. Roar! As the horned boar knocked the tire away, it immediately turned its head and stabbed towards Luo Feng with its hornblade. "Die!" At this moment, Luo Feng's body was like a butterfly as he nimbly spun and skillfully dodged the hornblade. As he spun, the ghost blade in Luo Feng's hand borrowed the force of the spin and instantly struck. The ghost blade's light sped up in an arc. Pu! As fast as lightning, this spinning blade directly chopped into the horned boar's neck. Pucci! Luo Feng clearly felt the toughness of the horned boar's fur and the toughness of its skin. No wonder normal bullets can't break through its skin. Fresh red blood seeped out. Luo Feng's blade only managed to cut about 5 centimeters into the horned boar's neck before it stopped. Roar! The horned boar madly howled and ferociously charged towards Luo Feng. The heavily injured horned boar became even more insane. What nimble technique! The Wei Jia brothers' faces were filled with shock. He can actually dodge the horned boar's stab so skillfully. The Wei Jia brothers' older brother, Wei Tai, exclaimed, "Unbelievable." And he dared to spin in front of the horned boar's horn. Isn't he afraid that the horned boar's horn will pierce through his body? Too skillful. Is he just lucky, or does he actually have skill? That spin seemed simple, but it revealed Luo Feng's amazing technique. "Good, beautiful." Chungu and Zhang Ke couldn't help but to cheer. "This kid has skill." Gao Feng smiled. In that dangerous situation, he dared to do that and succeeded. His technique is definitely not normal, and he grasped the timing very well. However, the hardest part about monsters is their life force. It won't be easy to kill this horned boar. The 5 members of the Fire Hammer Squad, including the Wei Jia brothers, all let out a smile. The five of them continued to watch the battle between the crazed horned boar and Luo Feng. Chapter 43. Pa! Pa! Smelly blood flowed down the thick skin of the horned boar's neck and dripped onto the dusty highway. The horned boar's eyes flashed with a crazy light. With a low growl, the horned boar madly charged towards Luo Feng like lightning again and again. Hooves, horn, tail, these three attacks were endless. With an injury to the neck, the agility of turning my head has decreased by quite a bit. Luo Feng nimbly dodged. During the fighter combat assessment, he had to face the attacks of 7 H-class monsters at the same time to hone his movement technique. The intensity of the attacks from the 7 H-class monsters was slightly lower than that of the one-horned wild boar, which was nearing the F-class, but not by much. Whoosh! Instead of retreating, Luo Feng moved forward and dodged to the side. The horn of the horned boar was only 3 centimeters away from Luo Feng's body. However, these 3 centimeters were like a chasm. The horned boar couldn't hurt Luo Feng at all. Attack! The ghost blade in Luo Feng's hand fiercely chopped from above. With an ear-piercing whistling sound, the horned boar immediately roared in anger. Its 4 hooves abruptly exerted force in an attempt to dodge Luo Feng's blade. However, Luo Feng's blade was too fast. All that could be heard was the sound of the blade cutting into flesh. Chi! Another slash landed on the neck. Even though it wasn't in the same position as before, this slash went in about 8 centimeters deep. Oomph! I was injured last time. Next time, its neck defense will be even weaker. Luo Feng immediately dodged and retreated as he chopped. At the same time Luo Feng slashed, he immediately dodged and retreated, easily dodging the wild horned boar's revenge attack. And then Luo Feng once again got close. Ho! Ho! The horned boar let out an angry roar. Last time, Luo Feng once again took 3 steps and created a blur, once again dodging the horned boar's attack. Luo Feng's sharp blade came along with those agile steps. Poochie! At the beginning, it was quite difficult for the blade to cut down, but after cutting in 12 centimeters, the resistance immediately decreased. Luo Feng's ghost blade cut down 2/3 of the horned boar's head. After that, he swiftly pulled out his blade and retreated. Fresh blood gushed out from the huge wound like a fountain. With a shrill roar, the horned wild boar's body twitched, and its 4 hooves stomped madly on the ground, cracking the asphalt pavement. Then, the unconscious horned wild boar crashed into the curved guardrail on the side of the highway, breaking the guardrail and rolling down. The voice gradually weakened, and there was no more response. Luo Feng stood on the broken fence of the highway and looked at the horned boar's corpse that was about to fall off. The blood flow had slowed down, so it was clear that it was almost completely drained. After all, the amount of blood that had flowed out was probably enough to fill a bucket. Dead! Luo Feng jumped down, and then his ghost blade went along the head of the horned boar and plucked off its horn. The most precious part of the horned wild boar was this horn. Watching from afar, the 5 members of the Fire Hammer party could not help but let out a long sigh. Pervert! Monster! These 2 words came out of the Wei brothers' mouths. How is it? My recommendation is not bad, right? Chengu shouted proudly. If the 5 of them were surprised before, they were shocked now. Unbelievable! Zhang couldn't help but to exclaim. The captain of the twin windhammers, Gao Feng, stared at Luo Feng, who was cutting off the horn from afar. How can this Luo Feng's technique be so powerful? In terms of pure speed, the horned boar is even a bit faster than him. But he dodged so many times just now with such ease. And he did it so naturally every time. If he can maintain this technique for hundreds and thousands of times, then he'll be in the Ru Wei class. He's only 18. If he's in the Ru Wei class, he should be sent to the dojo world headquarters for special training. The Wei family's boss, Wei Tai, couldn't help but to say. Ru Wei class. Martial artists of the same level were able to make precise and subtle dodges every time. They used the smallest amount of force to make the most perfect dodging. This kind of dodging is extremely difficult. A normal fighter can do it once or twice, but 100 or 1,000 times can do it. That means he's truly in the Ru Wei class. We got a treasure. Gao Feng let out a smile. The second brother of the Wei family, Wei Qing, nodded. Yeah, after some training, our fire hammer squad will have another backbone. Me and the second brother will teach him, said Wei Tai. Chen Gu and Zhang Ke both laughed. As veteran fighters who have walked the line between life and death countless times, they were very clear that some so-called geniuses have great fitness levels. However, when they actually fight against monsters, they won't even be able to display 10% of their true strength. So they usually look down on these so-called geniuses. True experts have gone through countless life and death battles, and Luo Feng's first performance was already this strong. Clearly, he's also very strong in battle. Captain Luo Feng ran over from afar. This horn, you killed it. So of course this horn belongs to you, said Gao Feng. Luo Feng nodded and didn't refuse. Among monsters, the materials from soldier-level monsters aren't worth much, because soldier-level monsters can be killed with firearms. Even a beginner-level fighter with a machine gun, as long as his marksmanship is good, he can easily kill soldier-level monsters one after another. So soldier-level monsters aren't worth much. If I sell this horn to the dojo, it should be worth $3,000. I can also get a few contribution points. If I sell it to the Underground Alliance, it should be worth 5,000, laughed Shingu. Only the materials from commander-level monsters are worth a lot of money, and the important materials from a horde leader-level monster are worth even more. Luo Feng, your performance just now barely passed, said the older brother of the Wei Jia brothers, Wei Tai, with a straight face. Brother Tai. Luo Feng looked over. Brother Tai, please teach me. Your techniques basics aren't bad, but your efficiency is way too low. Wei Tai's face was cold. In a bit, watch how I kill a F-grade monster. Luo Feng killed a monster that was nearing the F-grade. After rushing for a bit, Luo Feng and the others met a F-grade cat-type ocelot monster. This ocelot had stripes on its body and was as sturdy as a calf. In terms of agility and savagery, it was much better than the hornboar. Watch me, said Wei Tai coldly. Whoosh, a shield in his left hand and a scimitar in his right. Wei Tai swiftly charged towards the ocelot. Brother Tai is an advanced warrior, so his fitness level is the same as this F-grade ocelot monster. Luo Feng watched carefully and saw that Wei Tai didn't dodge at all and just charged towards the ocelot in a straight line. No, to be more accurate, right when the ocelot roared and pounced toward Wei Tai. Wei Tai's body moved to the side, and his shield collided with the ocelot. This collision caused the ocelot monster to lose its center of gravity and tilted to the side. Pucci, an arc of cold light brushed past the shield, slicing through the ocelot's neck and throat, which was exposed due to the ocelot's unstable center of gravity. Blood gushed out like a fountain, and Wei Tai quickly retreated. He looked at the ocelot monster coldly as it roared in pain and gradually fell to the ground, losing its breath. Wei Tai cut off the ocelot monster's tail and took out a nearly transparent tendon. He put it in his bag and walked back. Did you see that? My technique isn't as good as yours, and the strength I used didn't surpass yours. However, I killed it in one move. Wei Tai looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was still in shock. In the battle, just now, life and death were decided in an instant. And just now, in order to kill the hornboar, he dodged its attacks time and time again, and then attacked the hornboar's neck. It took quite a bit of effort to kill it. And that hornboar was much weaker than this ocelot monster. Think about it. Wei Tai didn't explain and let Luo Feng think about it by himself. Luo Feng was completely shocked. Wei Tai's speed and technique aren't anything to be proud of, but the effects are just that great. The best way to kill a monster is to aim for its weakness. The second son of the Wei family, Wei Qing, walked over and said indifferently, Normally, a walking monster's weakness is its eyes, but throat and mouth. The next weak point is its soft abdomen, and the next weak point is its neck. Luo Feng nodded. He knew this, but the monster moves so fast that it's hard to pierce its eyes. And the horned boar and the ocelot have their heads lowered, so it's hard to pierce their throats. Attacking the abdomen is also hard, so the neck is the easiest. It's hard to find an opportunity to attack its weakness. The monster isn't stupid. It will protect its weakness. But if there's no chance, we can create one. For example, just now, my brother made the ocelot monster lose its center of gravity through a sudden, slanted collision, and for a moment, it revealed its neck. In an instant, the scimitar pierced through the shield and into his neck. It instantly killed the ocelot monster. Wei Qing said coldly. Even my big brother's final slash was from under the shield, so the monsters couldn't react to it. Luo Feng nodded. Remember, learn to use your strengths, Wei Qing said. Do it in the most effective and concise way possible. Your body movements are very good, but you don't have to show off your body movements every time you kill monsters. The final goal of all your actions is to kill monsters in the most effective manner. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Wei Qing revealed a rare smile. Let's go. Captain Gao Feng waved his hand and smiled. The Firehammer Squad clearly wants to seriously nurture Luo Feng as the future backbone of the Firehammer Squad. On the way, Wei Qing and Wei Tai continuously went out to deal with some monsters, leaving Luo Feng to deal with them himself. They taught Luo Feng by word and example, giving him some battle experience. Luo Feng's rate of improvement was just as shocking. Even the warlord-level fighter Gao Feng helped out a few times to teach Luo Feng. Luo Feng slowly understood that when killing monsters, you have to maximize the effects of each attack. And when he killed the horn boar for the first time, all those beautiful dodges were just for show and were ineffective. Luo Feng's attacks gradually became sharp, direct, concise, and efficient. 3 days later, dawn. On an old ring road, the 6 members of the Firehammer Squad advanced. There are 2 F-grade Mastiff Lion Hounds in front. Luo Feng, you go, commanded Captain Gao Feng. Yes, Captain, Luo Feng smiled as he ran towards the Mastiff Lion Hounds. His speed wasn't too fast. Howl, howl. The 2 Mastiff Lion Hounds howled as they charged towards Luo Feng. The Mastiff Lion monster's eyes were still filled with bloodlust. They didn't care about the human in front of them. When the distance between the 2 became close, Luo Feng let out a smile. Whoosh! His speed suddenly increased. The fur on the 2 Mastiff Lion monsters' bodies instantly stood up. However, Luo Feng instantly closed in. His feet took 4 weird steps, which was the technique flowing light from the 9-stage Thunderblade. As the Lion Mastiff's claws pounced towards him, Luo Feng twisted his body and accurately dodged the Lion Mastiff's claws. As the 2 of them passed each other, his ghost blade pierced out. Pu! It directly pierced into the neck. Luo Feng swiftly charged forward and then turned his head to look at the other Mastiff Lion monster. Howl! When the other Mastiff Lion monster saw its comrade's neck spurt out blood, it actually let out a low growl and swiftly left. Gao Feng, Chengu, and the others of the Firehammer Squad all let out a smile when they saw this. Even though Luo Feng can't catch up to the Wei Jia brothers in terms of experience. But because of his technique advantage, Luo Feng's damage isn't any less than the Wei Jia brothers. Luo Feng, let's hurry and enter the city. Mastiffs all live in groups. The Mastiff Lion that just ran away will soon bring a group of Mastiff Lion monsters over, laughed Chengu. Luo Feng laughed as he met up with everyone. The 6 members of the Firehammer Squad finally entered their destination, number 0201 City. Chapter 44. The Firehammer Squad quietly entered the rural area of number 0201 country-level city. Luo Feng, we've been following the highway for the past 3 days, so we've been going through desolate areas as they walked. Chengu lowered his voice and said, most of the monsters live in the cities, in the built-up areas. Cities, and other places are the truly dangerous places. Understood, Brother Chun, nodded Luo Feng. In the post, he's already seen the habits of the monsters. In the long war between the monsters and humans, the monsters discovered that if they live in an empty, desolate area without any cover, then the human army and fighters can lock onto them from afar. They can use heavy sniper rifles or even missiles to attack from afar. And in the city, there are large amounts of buildings. As long as the monsters hide in the built-up areas, then the sniper rifle will have a hard time finding them. unless the sniper comes to the city. And once the human army enters the city and starts fighting with the monsters will have a huge advantage. The built-up areas are the monsters' paradise. Our Firehammer Squad's target is naturally a commander-level monster. However, Chungu reminded in a low voice, commander-level monsters already have a certain level of intelligence, which isn't much different from humans. A commander-level monster will order large amounts of soldier-level monsters to gather around it and listen to its commands. Almost every commander-level monster is surrounded by a large number of soldier-level monsters, so it's very hard to kill a commander-level monster. Luo Feng nodded. Not only is there a huge difference in strength between a soldier and a commander, the most important thing is intelligence. In order to stay alive, a commander-level monster will naturally gather large amounts of soldier-level monsters to protect it. Other than a few monsters that like to travel alone, most of the commanders have many soldier-level monsters around them. Everyone, be careful. There's an ironclad bull's nest up ahead. Captain Gao Feng suddenly said, the leader of this iron-armored bull's nest should be a high-level beast general, and there are a lot of iron-armored bulls in this nest. Let's take a detour. Chingu, don't shoot. If a steel-armored bull attacks, remember, kill it instantly, and don't let it call for its comrades. Yes, Captain, the other 5 nodded. The rural area, the city. Unlike the desolate areas outside, this place is much more dangerous. Following a narrow path, the 6 members of the Firehammer Squad carefully moved forward. Stop! The eldest of the Wei brothers, Wei Tai, who was standing at the front, raised his hand and stared ahead solemnly. In front of them was a gigantic iron fur wild boar lying on the ground. Beside it were 2 tiger mastiff monsters with their heads lowered as they devoured the meat in large mouthfuls. Suddenly, the tiger mastiff monsters raised their heads and looked at the Firehammer Squad in the distance. Let's go around, don't attack, Gao Feng said softly. In the desolate area of the highway, Luo Feng and the others were very carefree, killing monsters whenever they wanted. But it was different in the city. Luo Feng and his group finally arrived at their first destination, a small sector in number 0201 city, Blue Sky Sector. The reason why the Blue Sky District was chosen as the first destination by the Firehammer Squad was because there were 3 residential buildings up to 21 stories high in this district. Let's go to the rooftop. Everyone, be careful. A monster might pop out of the building at any moment. Don't make too much noise. The 6 members of the Firehammer Squad continued to move up the stairs. Howl! A low beast howl resonated within the building. The 6 members of the Firehammer Squad slightly frowned. Wei Tai, who was at the front, said quietly, "It should be upstairs, be careful." Everyone held their weapons and were ready to attack at any time. And Chungu, who was using firearms, was protected in the center. They advanced step by step. Luo Feng saw a 2-meter-tall lion mastiff monster with long fur appear from the corner in front of him. It was the size of a large military SUV. When this lion mastiff monster saw the humans, it immediately howled and rushed over with a gust of wind. The Firehammer Squad was currently going up the stairs, but the lion mastiff monster was diving down. Whoosh! Whoosh! Wei Tai and Wei Qing, who were at the front, moved almost exactly the same. They held a shield in one hand and a scimitar in the other as they rushed upwards at the same time. They almost brushed past the lion mastiff monster. When they brushed past each other, the curved scimitar sliced across the lion mastiff's front paw joint. Wei Tai and Wei Qing both used the exact same move. This caused the lion mastiff monster's 2 front paws to stumble and fall unstably on the stairs. And at this time, the spear Zhangku of the Firehammer Squad, who was behind Wei Tai and Wei Qing, instantly advanced. At the same time, the alloy spear in his hand whistled as it pierced towards the head of the staggering lion mastiff monster. Poochie! The spear instantly pierced through the lion mastiff monster's eye and through its head. H. The lion mastiff monster unconsciously stomped its paws a few times before collapsing powerlessly. Wei Qing, Wei Tai, and Zhangku's teamwork was indeed exquisite. The first two helped to injure the lion mastiff's front paws, causing the lion mastiff monster to lose its balance. Then, Zhang Ke instantly struck with his spear and killed it in one hit. Zhang Ke's marksmanship was also terrifyingly accurate. It actually pierced through the eye. In the process of climbing the building, the Fire Hammer party had encountered a total of 3 monsters. Their luck was pretty good, and one of these 3 monsters actually charged up from the stairs below. At the time, Luo Feng and Gao Feng were at the very back of the group, so naturally, Luo Feng was the one who killed the G-grade monster cleanly. Walking out of the staircase, the 6 members of the Fire Hammer squad arrived at the rooftop of this 21-story high-rise residential area. Close the staircase. Shut it, Gao Feng said. Don't let any monsters run up from below and onto the rooftop. Yes. Luo Feng and Zhang Ke personally went to the staircase and found a metal rod to block the door. Phew, I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. A rare smile appeared on Zhang Ke's face. He sat on the rooftop and took out high-calorie food and water from his backpack. They all brought binoculars, right? Captain Gao Feng said, "Everyone take out your binoculars and look down from the rooftop. See if you can find any commander-level monsters. Remember, don't expose too much of your body to the rooftop. If the monsters below discover you, it'll be a bit troublesome." The rooftop was actually quite safe. Normal monsters can't climb up from the rooftop of a 21-story high residential area. Even if a commander-level monster commands the monsters to attack from the stairs, how wide are the stairs? The threat isn't high. The Fire Hammer squad has more than enough time to escape. Begin searching for commander-level monsters. Brothers, let's find monsters. Luo Feng also took out binoculars from his backpack. Everyone brought binoculars, steel wires, and other tools since they weren't that heavy. As he squatted on the edge of the rooftop, Luo Feng could see the streets below him. There were large amounts of monsters everywhere. The amount of monsters in the city is indeed 10 to 100 times more than in the wilderness. In one of the streets, there were at least a few hundred monsters moving. Even a warlord-level fighter wouldn't have a high chance of escaping alive if they were surrounded by a few hundred regular monsters. Captain, they're all soldier-level monsters. I don't see any commander-level monsters here either. The 5 members, including the captain, all held binoculars and looked down from different directions. Only by standing high can you see further. From a rooftop of a 21-story high residential area, you can indeed see far and see a lot of monsters. A metal box opened. Chenggu, the only member of the Fire Hammer squad who didn't use binoculars, opened the metal box. Other than a large amount of ammunition, there was also a rectangular wooden box. After opening the wooden box, there were some gun parts inside. Chenggu quickly assembled them. After a while, a 2-meter-long silver-gray heavy sniper rifle was assembled, and the optical equipment and sights were all installed. Chenggu loaded the special bullets one by one into the magazine. There were a total of 10 bullets. "Captain, notify me when you find a commander-level monster," said Chenggu. "Okay, go take a nap first and rest up. Leave the matter of finding the commander-level monster to us," nodded Gao Feng and instructed the others, "Everyone be careful. Don't miss anything. This is the easiest way to kill a commander-level monster in the city. You can see far from a high vantage point. This is 10 to 100 times faster than finding a commander-level monster on the streets. It's also very safe." Luo Feng, Zhang Ke, the Wei Jiao brothers, and Gao Feng all held binoculars and carefully looked down. As for Chenggu, he hugged his heavy sniper rifle and started to sleep. Chapter 45. While the 6 members of the Fire Hammer squad were hiding on the rooftop of the 21st floor of the Blue Sky District, searching for commander-level monsters. On the broken highway around 30 miles away from number 0201 City, an elite 6-man fighter squad was also quickly heading towards the direction of number 0201 City. These 6 people all had a tiger emblem on the left chest of their uniforms. This was the famous Tiger Fang squad of Jiangnan City. The Tiger Fang squad had a total of 6 people. 2 of them used firearms, and 4 of them used cold weapons. Of the 4 who used cold weapons, 2 were warlord-level fighters, and the other 2 were advanced warrior-level fighters. As for the 2 who used firearms, They were both warlord-level fighters. Actually, with firearms, as long as you had enough talent, experience, and time, it was very easy to get to warlord level, because they relied on the power of their bullets. Old Han, did you find the old bastard's location? Zhang Zehu asked in a low voice. This Zhang Ze, who was one of the 6 members of the Tiger Fong squad, and was an advanced warrior-level fighter. In terms of strength, the Tiger Fong squad was very strong. The 2 weakest were both advanced warrior-level fighters, and they were only a bit away from warlord level. According to the signal I left on the old bastard's body, the old bastard should be around 40 miles away from us. According to my calculations, it should be in the number 0201 city up ahead. A man holding a compass-like device looked at the device in his hand and said, "Finally confirmed the location. If we can kill this old bastard this time, us bros will be rich." The Tiger Fong squad members all laughed. Before, when they were hunting monsters, they coincidentally found a wolf-type monsters hunter. It has to be known that in the current distribution of monsters, because before the Grand Nirvana period, humans had the most pigs, dogs, cats, cows, goats, etc. So now the majority of monsters were pigs, dogs, cats, cows, goats, snakes, etc. But monsters like foxes, monkeys, scorpions, wolves, tigers, and leopards that mutated into monsters are very rare. Wolves, tigers, and leopards, because they were already very strong. After this mutation, they were all extremely scary. Of course, some normal monster groups, because of their large numbers, will also produce some extremely scary existences. For example, among the cat-type monsters, there was a legendary existence, the 9 Lives Demon Cat. The 9 Lives Demon Cat was the most terrifying monster among cats. It had 9 tails, and its strength surpassed that of a Lord-tier monster. On the entire Earth, it was one of the most terrifying monsters that ranked at the top. Moreover, wolf-type monsters had a strong reproductive ability. Over the past few decades, martial artists would often encounter wolf-type monsters. Hunters were an incredibly terrifying mutated race among wolf-type monsters. They were also known as the kings of the wolf race, the Silver Moon Wolves. Each Silver Moon Wolf moved alone and loved to hunt other monsters and human martial artists. They were known for being cunning and brutal, so they were known as hunters. So far, the weakest Silver Moon Wolf has been discovered to be a middle-level commander. Each Silver Moon Wolf can be sold for an astronomical price. The hunter we're chasing should be a high-level commander, or even close to a horde leader. Fortunately, this hunter was already heavily injured before it fought with us. That's how we were able to heavily injure it again. The captain of the Tiger Fong squad, a skinny man with dark skin, said coldly, "Now that we've all recovered from our injuries and recovered our strength, this time we must seize this opportunity and kill this much weaker hunter in one fell swoop." Yes, Captain, the 6 members of the Tiger Fong squad were all filled with fighting spirit. Killing one hunter is equivalent to what they usually get in a year or 2 of hard work. In the Blue Sky sector, on the rooftop of a 21-story residential building, the 5 members of the Firehammer squad were all holding binoculars and carefully looking below. Luo Feng held the binoculars in his left hand and a water bottle in his right hand. He took a sip of water, then put the binoculars down and put the bottle into his bag. Only then did he continue to look below with the binoculars. "Captain, are we just going to wait here like idiots?" said Luo Feng. "What do you know?" Gao Feng put down the binoculars and laughed. "In this area, this 21-story residential building is quite tall. We can use the binoculars to look around 4 to 5 miles from the rooftop. How big is the entire county-level city? Of course, because of the buildings, our efficiency isn't that high, but this efficiency is already extremely high. Everyone can rest and search for monsters at the same time. This is the best method." Luo Feng nodded. "Captain, look over here," Zhang Ke suddenly yelled and pointed in a certain direction. Whoosh! The other 4 people all rushed over, and each of them held their binoculars and carefully looked below. Luo Feng also looked in the direction Zhang Ke pointed. With a glance through the binoculars, he saw that on the streets of the northwest corner, horned boars and iron fur boars appeared one after another. There were at least a few hundred of them in total, and the number of pig-type monsters that appeared in his field of vision was still increasing. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. On one of the streets, a strange monster that was completely red like a tank was slowly moving forward. In front of it was a group of pig-type monsters. This is a bloodthirsty tank. Luo Feng was shocked. Among the pig-type monsters, they are considered the second most powerful existence, the bloodthirsty tank group. Even though they are called bloodthirsty tanks, they're still a type of pig-type monster. Their entire body is covered in scales, and their defense is shocking. At first glance, they look like an armored tank. In terms of defense and charging power, they aren't any weaker than a real tank. It's a bloodthirsty tank. That's a big fish. Captain, looking at the color of its scales, it should be a low-level commander level. It's a bit close to a medium-level commander level. The members of the Fire Hammer squad all started discussing. Yep, the price of a bloodthirsty tank is pretty high. Captain Luo Feng laughed. Even though it's only a low-level commander-level monster, its price can compare to some medium-level commander-level monsters. This is a big fish. Keep your spirits up, everyone. Old Chungu. His teammate's voice made Chungu finally open his eyes. Chungu laughed as he stood up. Brothers, did you find a commander-level monster? Come take a look, laughed Gao Feng. Chungu swiftly walked over and picked up his binoculars to take a closer look. He said in shock, F***CK, it's actually the second most powerful pig-type monster, the bloodthirsty tank. This guy's defense is shocking. Even the armor-piercing bullets I brought probably can't break through its scales. Looks like I'll have to use my treasure. Hurry up and go. Bullets aren't worth much, urged Gao Feng. Chungu was extremely fast. He immediately rushed to the metal box and took out 3 blood-red bullets to replace them with bullets from the sniper rifle. Pu. Chungu laid on the edge of the rooftop and set up the silver, heavy sniper rifle. The gun barrel reflected light under the sunlight. Chungu extended his hand to sense the direction, carefully tested and calculated, and adjusted the aiming optics. The 5 members of the Fire Hammer squad didn't dare to make a sound. Suddenly, pong, a low and powerful sound rang. In almost an instant, the bullet pierced through space and flew over. Even though this alloy armor-piercing bullet is shockingly powerful and has a speed several times faster than the speed of sound. But because the speed is faster than the speed of sound, the sonic boom only reached the commander-level monster's ears after the bullet. The bloodthirsty tank slowly moved on the street with a large number of monsters in front and behind it. Pu. The bloodthirsty tank's neck suddenly produced sparks on the back of its ear, and a hole suddenly appeared as the bullet pierced through. Arg. The bloodthirsty tank roared in pain and staggered 2 steps to the side. Once it stabilized, the bloodthirsty tank immediately roared in pain and anger. Immediately, the large number of pig-type monsters that were originally roaming around crazily gathered towards it. Blood seeped out of the back of the bloodthirsty tank's ear. The bloodthirsty tank roared in anger, but it couldn't tell where the bullet came from. On the rooftop, Chungu slightly raised his head and moved his eyes away from the scope. He said confidently, "My luck isn't bad. I hit a weak spot. This bloodthirsty tank has a lot of life force, so it didn't die immediately. But in 5 minutes, it'll definitely fall." The most effective shot in a long-distance sniper is the first shot. Because of the first shot, the commander-level monster doesn't have any defense. But if the first shot doesn't hit a weak spot, then it'll be troublesome. Commander-level monsters have a lot of defense, so it's already pretty good if the bullet can penetrate their defense. So most bullets are armor-piercing bullets that focus on penetrating power, and not explosive bullets that have high damage. Since if the penetrating power isn't enough, how can you even talk about damage? Good shot. Zhang Ke smiled and gave a thumbs up. This bloodthirsty tank's skull is the hardest. Even if the bullet pierced through the scales, it wouldn't affect the bloodthirsty tank much. Gao Feng smiled. Chungu, that shot was really strong. If Chungu's shot didn't work, killing a bloodthirsty tank protected by a large number of monsters would be way too hard. Stop complimenting me. Chungu smiled. Right now you guys should think of a way to get the bloodthirsty tank's body. That bloodthirsty tank is surrounded by hundreds of monsters. And if you're too slow, who knows, a fighter squad might take advantage of it. Don't jinx it. There are at most 2 to 3 fighter squads in this city. Gao Feng smiled. All right, everyone pack up. Let's go and get the body. Chapter 46. Zhang Ku, carry one of Chun Gu's metal boxes, commanded Gao Feng. Yes, Captain. Spear Zhang Ku walked toward Chun Gu. At this time, Chun Gu was disassembling the heavy sniper rifle and putting it into a wooden box. He then carried the wooden box and a large amount of bullets to Zhang Ku. After that, Chun Gu himself opened the other metal box and took out the horrifying machine gun. A large amount of bullets were wrapped around Chun Gu's body, and one end of the chain was directly connected to the machine gun. Luo Feng couldn't help but to be shocked when he saw this. High-level firearms are quite useful against soldier-level monsters. For example, the bloodthirsty tank that was killed in one shot. Actually, luck played a part in that shot, since the head of a monster that can be killed in one shot has the toughest skull. And the bloodthirsty tank's body is huge, so even if it gets shot, it won't be affected much. So, there are very few places where a bullet can kill in one shot. For example, the eyes, the bottom of the skull, and the back of the ears. To be this accurate, 1 is skill, and 2 is luck. If the bloodthirsty tank was a bit more cautious and changed directions, then that shot wouldn't have been accurate. Go down, commanded Gao Feng. Under Gao Feng's command, Luo Feng and the other 4 immediately followed the stairs and swiftly left the blue sky sector. 5 minutes later, Luo Feng and the others were already in an alley. The leader, Wei Tai, secretly looked outside and turned his head. Captain, that bloodthirsty tank is dead. Old Chun. Awesome. Gao Feng gave a thumbs up. Chun Gu grinned. However, Captain, continued Wei Tai, around the bloodthirsty tank's corpse, there are around a few hundred monsters gathered. It'll be quite troublesome for us to get the bloodthirsty tank's corpse. This is indeed a troublesome part of long-range attacks against commander-level monsters. Even if you succeed, getting the important materials from the corpse is quite dangerous. However, it's much safer than fighting a commander-level monster in a monster horde. Same rules, Wei Tai. Wei Qing, you guys mess up the monster horde. We'll attack together, commanded Gao Feng, and then turned his head towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng held his breath. Charging into a monster horde of a few hundred monsters is indeed the most dangerous thing he's done since he joined the Firehammer Squad. Of course, according to some of the posts he read, this situation is only a relatively simple situation for fighter squads. There were things that were 10 times or even 100 times more dangerous than this. Luo Feng, follow Chun Gu in a bit. Your mission is to protect Chun Gu and not let the monsters attack Chun Gu. Gao Feng said solemnly. Don't worry, Captain, I definitely won't let a single monster near Brother Chun, nodded Luo Feng. All right, let's go. Gao Feng gave the order. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 black streams of light flew out from Wei Tai and Wei Qing's hands. They flew more than 100 meters like a bolt of lightning and landed among the monster horde in the distance. These 2 black streams of light were actually 2 elliptical black spheres. These elliptical black spheres also had a red time signal. The monsters that noticed this thing all avoided it cautiously. Beep, beep, boom. The 2 time bombs suddenly exploded. The powerful explosive force and the flying debris caused the 2 monsters beside the time bombs to tumble, their bodies covered in blood. At the same time, the 2 time bombs produced a large amount of smoke, which quickly spread in all directions. In terms of power, the 2 time bombs only managed to kill 1 monster and injure 5 or 6 monsters. Most of the monsters were just affected by the smoke. Charge, commanded Gao Feng. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Luo Feng also exploded all the power in his body. He held a shield in one hand and a ghost blade in the other. He swiftly sprinted beside Chun Gu. The 6 members of the Firehammer Squad were all astonishingly fast. They were only 150 meters away from the corpse of the commander-level monster in the middle of the monster horde, so they reached it in 4 to 5 seconds. And this is because their speed was greatly reduced when they ran into the monster horde. Captain Gao Feng was like lightning as he charged at the very front. He wielded a heavy hammer with one hand and swung it continuously at lightning speed. Pong, 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 two sounds. The heads of two soldier-level monsters were directly smashed open. One was an intermediate soldier-level monster, while the other was a beginner-level warlord fighter with the strength of an intermediate-level warlord. The difference in strength was too huge. With a heavy hammer in one hand and a dagger in the other, Gao Feng practically instantly pounced beside the corpse of the commander-level monster, the bloodthirsty tank. The dagger swiftly pierced into the bullet hole on the back of the bloodthirsty tank's ear. While Gao Feng was dissecting the corpse for materials, the other 5 members of the Fire Hammer Squad were in danger. Hurry, Luo Feng. Protect Old Chun, wave Zhang Ku with his spear. The brothers Wei Tai and Wei Qing protected Captain Gao Feng. With the bloodthirsty tank's defense, it would take Wei Tai, Luo Feng, and the other a long time to dissect it. And with Gao Feng's astonishing strength, half a minute is enough. Howl! The surrounding monsters noticed Luo Feng and the others and immediately roared as they charged over. It was as if a heavy Hummer was charging over 100 kilometers per hour. F*CK off, Luo Feng's 2 exquisite steps allowed him to dodge. At the same time, the shield on his left arm fiercely smashed into the body of a charging hornboar. The hornboar's 4 hooves couldn't help but to twist as its gigantic body slanted and fell onto the ground, causing the already cracked concrete ground to shake and a large amount of dust to fly up. Luo Feng didn't care about killing the enemy. He only wanted to survive for half a minute. Xiao! Xiao! At this moment, Zhang Ku was brandishing his spear, killing 2 soldier-level monsters and repelling 3. At this time, 3 furious monsters roared as they simultaneously attacked Zhang Ku. Zhang Ku didn't have a shield, so he only used his spear. Not good. After swinging his spear, Zhang Ku's face changed. Ow! An iron fur boar's charging speed is definitely 50 meters per second. Its body is like a small truck, but its speed is comparable to a sports car. And Zhang Ku couldn't block it in time. There were 3 monsters attacking him in front of him. I'm probably going to get heavily injured this time. Zhang Ku clenched his teeth. Pong! A black shadow came from the side and kicked the charging iron fur boar's body. Running at such a high speed does indeed cause one to lose control of their body. The iron fur boar's gigantic body tilted from this kick and it directly fell down. After that, it quickly climbed back up. Brother Zhang, stay close to me, said Luo Feng. Luo Feng, thanks, yelled Zhang Ku gratefully. If it weren't for Luo Feng just now, Zhang Ku would definitely be heavily injured. Zhang Ku thought to himself, letting Luo Feng join the Fire Hammer Squad was the right choice. And his steps are so fast and nimble. Good technique, praised Chingu, who was under protection. There were at least a few hundred monsters in this horde. After a few dozen started fighting with Luo Feng and the others, even more monsters were quickly attracted over. Thankfully, the smoke blocked their vision, so the horde of monsters couldn't unleash their full power. Not good, Captain. Hurry, Wei Tai couldn't help but to yell. Every second that passed, the Fire Hammer Squad's danger increased. The number of monsters around them increased rapidly. Chingu, fire, ordered Gao Feng, who was squatting beside the bloodthirsty tank's corpse and being protected by the Wei Jiao brothers. Yes, Chingu licked his lips and laughed ferociously. Luo Feng and Zhang Ku, who were beside Chingu, immediately took a step back. As Chingu pulled the trigger, tu, streams of light crazily shot out from the muzzle. Every bullet was an armor-piercing bullet that Chingu bought at a high price. Even a warlord-level monster is a bit of a threat. Howl! Suddenly, a large amount of monsters in the surroundings howled in pain. The crazily shot armor-piercing bullets entered the bodies of the monsters one by one. These monsters have large bodies and strong life force, so they usually don't die after being shot. Only by shooting through the head can they be killed in one shot. These armor-piercing bullets can't pierce through the skull of a commander-level monster, but they have no problem shooting through soldier-level monsters. Pung! A monster's head and brain matter flew out. A monster that fell had a bloody hole in its body. Die. Chungu was like a madman. The gun barrel, which was made of Luo alloy, could continuously shoot armor-piercing bullets. The crazily pouring bullets almost instantly suppressed one side of the monster horde. Luo Feng and Zhangku, on the other hand, prevented the monsters from attacking Chungu. The continuous gunshots allowed the monsters in the smoke to instantly determine their direction and madly charge over. In a group battle, Chungu's ability to use a machine gun is comparable to 10 fighters. However, the sound of a machine gun would attract the attention of the monsters. All right, let's go. Gao Feng, who successfully harvested the materials, let out a low roar. Luo Feng and the others immediately let out a sigh of relief. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 6 members of the Fire Hammer Squad sprinted away. Rumble, hundreds of angry monsters chased after them. The running of a monster caused the cement ground to shake. When hundreds of them ran together, it was as if there was an earthquake. The entire street, and even the ruined houses on the side, slightly shook and even let out a rumbling sound. The monster horde sure is scary. Luo Feng turned his head and looked. The hundreds of enraged monsters that were about to go crazy were rushing over. The scene was quite shocking. This way, the Fire Hammer Squad immediately turned into an alley. The alley was very narrow. The monsters couldn't even walk side by side, so they could only enter one by one. Taking this opportunity, the Fire Hammer Squad continuously turned into small alleys in the densely built area. Soon, the horde of monsters was completely shaken off. Half an hour later, Luo Feng and the others quietly arrived on the rooftop of the 18-story high hotel. "Ah, everyone did well this time," laughed Captain Gao Feng. "Chungu's shot was amazing." Captain Gao Feng laughed. "Chungu's shot was spectacular." "Luo Feng, you weren't bad either," saving Zhangku. "Yeah, this bloodthirsty tank is a low-level commander. It's also one of the more difficult low-level commander monsters to kill. This time we earned quite a bit. Who would have thought that we'd have such a harvest on the first day? This is a good start. After a month, we'll probably earn quite a bit." Luo Feng, Chungu, and the others all started laughing. Luo Feng looked at his battle watch and was suddenly shocked. A phone call. Even if someone calls, this battle communicator watch won't disturb the fighter. Only the fighter can tell if someone is making a call or not by looking at the watch. "My home phone." Luo Feng laughed and started a voice command. "Call me back." Beep, 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 beep. The tactical communications watch quickly dialed Luo Feng's home phone number. Chapter 47. "Hey, brother." The voice that came from the tactical communications watch made Luo Feng laugh. "Luo Hua, weren't you having fun with that little girl of yours? Why do you have time to call me?" "Haha." On the rooftop, Chungu, Zhangku, and the others looked over and laughed. "Even if you have a wife, you can't forget about your brother." The younger brother in the tactical communications watch chuckled. "All right, brother. I'm calling to tell you something. Nan has officially agreed to be my girlfriend. Haha. Your little brother is amazing, right?" The younger brother's voice was filled with joy. How long has it been? His younger brother had never been so happy before. The charm of love is indeed great, Luo Feng thought to himself. My brother has been disabled for so many years, so he's always been under a lot of pressure. Being able to be this happy with a girlfriend. Luo Feng felt happy for his brother and immediately laughed. "You still have to work hard and get your marriage certificates soon. Brother, we can't rush this. We have to do it step by step." Luo Hua giggled. "Oh, right, where are Mom and Dad?" asked Luo Feng. "Mom and Dad went grocery shopping together," Luo Hua replied. Luo Feng nodded. Mother could finally go grocery shopping in the morning, and father could finally relax and accompany mother to the market without having to work. "I'm fine. Brother, be careful when you're outside the base city," Luo Hua said. "Rest assured." As the call ended, Luo Feng was all smiles. "All right, since Luo Feng is done with his call, everyone come over," said Gao Feng. Immediately, Luo Feng and the other 4 walked over. "We just entered the city today, and our results are pretty good. As usual, the spoils of war will be distributed according to everyone's contribution in the battle. Once we're done with this hunt and return to the supply base, we'll do the overall distribution." Gao Feng's expression suddenly turned serious. "But I have to warn you in advance. Everyone must be careful. This was a densely built area. This was where the monster's nest was. In the entire city, there are a lot of commander-level monsters, so don't be careless. Otherwise, if you fall into danger, you'll be in trouble. Many martial artists die every year. Yes, Chen Gu, Zhang Ku, the Wei Jia brothers, and Luo Feng all nodded seriously. Luo Feng knew too. Martial artists who joined the government's army were the safest. And for martial artists like him who wandered the wilderness, the mortality rate was very high. Just now, everyone fought and consumed a lot of energy. Last night, they had been hurrying on their journey, and now everyone was resting. Let's start at 4 in the afternoon. Gao Feng made his decision. Yes, roar, time to rest. The 6 members of the Firehammer squad were either leaning or lying on the rooftop, resting. While the Firehammer squad was resting on the rooftop of Haihao Hotel, the Tiger Fong squad had already entered the number 0201 county city. The 6 of them were carefully making their way through a broken-down alleyway with collapsed walls. There were even some monster corpses in the alleyway. Stop! The skinny and short captain raised his hand, and the others stopped. The Tiger Fong captain said in a low voice, "Everyone listen up. This time, we only have one target, that injured silver moon dire wolf. So, in this county, we must not provoke other monsters. If he could hide, he would hide. If he could escape, he would escape. It's best not to fight with them. It'll be troublesome if you get hurt." The other 5 members nodded solemnly. It was a silver moon fierce wolf, and it was even a high-level beast general. It's much more profitable than killing tens of low-level commander rank beasts. Also, wait until we catch up to the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf. Remember, this Silver Moon Fierce Wolf is already heavily injured. We only need 2 or 3 attacks to kill it. I'll remind everyone again, no matter what, do not fight it head-on. If we really let the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf go all out, at least 1 or 2 of us will die. Everyone's expressions were serious as they nodded. Even if a high-level commander beast and one of the royal Silver Moon Fierce Wolves is heavily injured, once it goes berserk and takes revenge, half of the Tiger Fong squad might die. We'll let it continuously get injured and bleed until it dies. The Tiger Fong captain smiled confidently. It's hard for a war god level fighter squad to be attracted to this level of a county. There are probably only a few squads in a county, and our squad should be the strongest in this county. Don't worry about people stealing it. Most of the stronger warlord-level squads operate in the city-level area. That place is more challenging, and there are more solo commander-level beasts. For example, the Firehammer squad came to this county. One of the reasons is Luo Feng is a newbie. Otherwise, the Firehammer squad would also enter the city, and not a county like this. Captain, if there really is a fighter squad, and we risk our lives to steal it, frowned the one-eyed middle-aged man. Don't worry, Zhang Zehu laughed on the side. Even we don't dare to push that hunter too hard, and most of the fighter squads in this county are warrior level. It's already pretty good if there's even one warlord level. If they try to steal the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf, they'll probably be torn to shreds by the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf. Okay, the Tiger Fong captain nodded. They don't have the ability to steal the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf. If someone tries to steal it, just kill it. Yes. The other 5 nodded. Let's go. The Tiger Fong squad waved their hands, and the 6 of them quickly and quietly moved forward. The wilderness is different from headquarters cities. Headquarters cities are cities that are controlled by humans. There are laws there. There are government controls. However, the wilderness is a place where monsters live. There are too many dark, chaotic, and bloody things here. Because of a monster's corpse, there are many cases of fighter squads killing each other. Of course, most of the time, it's the stronger fighter squads stealing from the weaker squads. Many martial artists in the wilderness died at the hands of monsters, but there were also many who died at the hands of other martial artists. In the evening, after eating and drinking their fill, the 6 members of the Firehammer squad looked down with their binoculars. In 2 hours, we've already seen 2 commander-level monsters, said Wei Tai helplessly. Wei Tai said helplessly, "Unfortunately, Every commander-level monster is surrounded by a large amount of soldier-level monsters. The city area is still better. Although there are more commander-level monsters in the city area, there are even horde leader-level monsters. However, the normal soldier-level monsters are mostly gathered around horde leader-level monsters, as well as the strong commander-level monsters. There are quite a few commander-level monsters that are all alone before Chungu had fired 2 shots with his sniper rifle. But this time his luck wasn't as good as last time. These 2 shots hit 2 commander-level monsters, but one of them didn't seem to be affected. While the other one was heavily injured, it didn't die. More importantly, they were protected by a large number of normal monsters. That's the bad thing about a county city. Even a normal commander-level monster can lead a large group of monsters, Zhang said helplessly. But the county is safe. Gao Feng laughed. In the entire county, there are only 1 or 2 high-level commander-level beasts. Also, they are surrounded by a large number of normal monsters. We won't run into them at all. As for the normal monster hordes, with our team's strength, we'll be able to charge through them. I'm not afraid of suddenly being surrounded by a few commander-level beasts. In the city, there are a lot of commanders, so it's easy to be surrounded and attacked by multiple commanders. Luo Feng held the binoculars and carefully looked down. This is a commander level. More than 10 monsters appeared at the edge of the street. All of them had spots on their bodies. At first glance, they looked like tigers. They were from the Ocelot clan of the feline family. All of these ocelots were huge, and one of them even had 2 tails. Twin-tailed? Commander level? Luo Feng was surprised. In the Ocelot clan, 2-tailed is a low-level commander. 3-tailed is a medium-level commander. 5-tailed is a low-level horde leader. 7-tailed is a high-level horde leader. 8-tailed has already surpassed the horde leader level and is the peak of the Ocelot clan. And in the feline family, any creature with 9 tails is a 9 lives demon cat, 9 lives cat king, which is one of the most terrifying existences on Earth. Captain, look, a commander-level Ocelot, yelled Luo Feng. Ocelot. Suddenly, the other 5 people rushed over and carefully looked through the binoculars. It really is an Ocelot. Ocelots don't like to live in groups, so the rumors are true. Around the commander-level Ocelot, there's only 16 normal soldier-level monsters, laughed Gao Feng. Brothers, let's get ready to move. Just 16 normal monsters. I can take care of them all by myself, laughed Chingu. Everyone on the team was relaxed. Let's go. With Gao Feng's command, Luo Feng and the others immediately left the rooftop. This time, they didn't even open fire. They were afraid that they wouldn't be able to kill the Ocelot and scare it away. A commander-level monster with only a dozen underlings is very rare in a small county. Chapter 48. Luo Feng followed the 5 old members of the Firehammer Squad and quietly jumped over the wall into a residential area's courtyard on the side of the street. This residential area's dilapidated walls had already collapsed in more than 10 places. The concrete road in the residential area was already covered in weeds, and moss was growing at the corners of the walls. The fat sheep is right in front. Weitai looked at the street outside through the gap in the collapsed wall. We're in luck. The Ocelot is leisurely looking for prey with its underlings. Luo Feng also looked through the crack in the wall. About 50 meters away from the street, the commander-level Ocelot was leading a group of Ocelots. Brothers, remember this, Gao Feng said in a low voice. In a bit, your job is to kill the normal Ocelots. As for the commander-level Ocelot, stay away from it to avoid getting caught up in it. Just leave it to me. I can deal with a low-level commander-level Ocelot by myself. Secondly, Chingu, your machine gun doesn't need to fire. It's not too late to open fire if something unexpected happens. Once we open fire, we must immediately escape the battlefield. Understood. Luo Feng and the others nodded seriously. Gunshots could easily attract monsters. If it had been on the balcony of a tall building and was far away, the monster would not have been able to rely on its ears to determine the location of the gunshots. However, in a fight on flat ground, it would be easy to be exposed once a shot was fired. Very soon, he would attract a large number of monsters to surround him. The longer he stayed, the more monsters he would attract. Last time, when they snatched the bloodthirsty tank's corpse, everyone immediately ran for their lives as soon as Chungu opened fire. All right, we have to end this battle quickly. Go! Gao Feng waved his hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 6 figures dashed out at the same time. Even Chungu had a machine gun in his left hand and a short knife in his right. The 6 of them turned into 6 shadows and rushed toward the group of ocelots. Roar! The leader of the ocelots, the 2-tailed ocelot, saw this and immediately roared angrily. The 16 ocelot monsters around it also let out furious roars. Their roars echoed on both sides of the street, shaking the heavens. One by one, the strong ocelots pounced on the human in front of them. Kill! Die, you bastard! Luo Feng looked at the ocelot that was charging towards him like lightning. He moved his feet and instantly dodged a meter to the side. The ghost blade in his hand used this momentum to turn into a cold arc of light and slashed towards the ocelot's throat. The pouncing ocelot howled and actually lowered its head, using its chin to block Luo Feng's blade. Chi! The blood shadow saber split open the ocelot's chin fur, and even the bone of the ocelot's chin was cut half a centimeter. This ocelot has fast reflexes. It's much faster than the lion mastiff. Once Luo Feng landed on the ground, a gust of wind came. The other ocelot opened its bloody mouth and tried to bite Luo Feng. Luo Feng held a shield in one hand and a ghost blade in the other. He took a step back and opened up some space. He then used a shield to block and stabbed with his blade in his right hand. The blood shadow saber cleverly brushed past the edge of the shield and instantly pierced the ocelot's chin in midair. Luo Feng fiercely pulled out his blade and retreated. Piu! Fresh blood sprayed out, and the ocelot, which was the size of a calf, fell on the ground. Its body shook 3 times, and with a howl, it crashed onto the cracked cement floor. Watch out! A loud yell suddenly rang. Rip! Wei Tai and Wei Qing, who weren't far away, were instantly thrown into the air. Wei Tai's entire body smashed into the wall beside the street. With a rumble, the wall that hasn't been repaired for years directly collapsed. Wei Tai spat out a mouthful of blood as he fell to the ground. Howl! The twin-tailed ocelot that instantly knocked Wei Tai and Wei Qing away arrived in front of Luo Feng at almost the same time. Too fast. Luo Feng jumped in shock and immediately dodged to the side. Almost. Clearly, his dodging speed was a bit too slow. Right as the twin-tailed ocelot's sharp claws were about to scratch his body, a formless spiritual force instantly acted on his right hand's wrist guard. The sudden force clearly increased Luo Feng's speed by a large amount, causing the twin-tailed ocelot's claws to brush past his body. Chi! Luo Feng also did a ferocious slash. The blade slashed onto one of the twin-tailed ocelot's front paws. The sharp ghost blade made a chi-chi sound as it passed through the front paw's fur. Not even a layer of fur was cut through the twin-tailed ocelot's front paw. A commander-level monster's speed is too fast, and its defense is too terrifying. Luo Feng was shocked. Poochie! The twin-tailed ocelot landed on the ground, and its sharp claws created a hole in the old cement floor. Bastard! Captain Gao Feng, who caused his comrade to be injured due to his carelessness, suddenly charged towards Luo Feng like a bolt of lightning. His face was ferocious, and his 2 gigantic hammers smashed towards Luo Feng like a spinning windmill. And the twin-tailed ocelot didn't seem to be injured at all after getting hit by Luo Feng's blade. It turned around and roared as it charged towards Gao Feng. Pung! Pung! The hammers and the sharp claws clashed. Gao Feng and the twin-tailed ocelot both stumbled. Gao Feng exerted force with his left leg and pounced again. He didn't give the twin-tailed ocelot another chance to attack his comrade. And one of the twin-tailed ocelot's front claws seemed to have been fractured by the hammers, and it could only stand there with its 3 legs. Gao Feng actually has the advantage in a head-on clash. Rumble, the hammers continuously smashed down. On the rooftop of a 6-story apartment building around 500 meters away, The 6 members of the Tiger Fong squad were using binoculars to check their surroundings. Captain, there are a lot of monsters around here. How about we reach the hunter location 10 miles away without alerting most of the monsters? It'll be very difficult, the one-eyed middle-aged man frowned. The short and skinny Tiger Fong captain also frowned. Suddenly, his gaze landed on the members of the Fire Hammer squad who were fighting against the Ocelot monster horde in the distance. It's the Fire Hammer squad. The Tiger Fong captain raised his eyebrows. They also came to this city. It should be because they brought a newbie Luo Fong that the Fire Hammer squad came here, said the one-eyed middle-aged man. That twin hammers guy is obviously Gao Fong. The one-eyed middle-aged man said, the one with the twin hammers is obviously Gao Fong. Gao Feng's strength is truly great. He actually dared to fight a low-level commander monster head-on. I heard that his strength is comparable to an intermediate-level warlord fighter. However, his speed is a bit slower. He's definitely not weak. Zhang Zehu, who was carrying a gigantic machete on his back, had his eyes light up. He picked up his binoculars and looked in that direction. He couldn't help but to say with joy, it really is the Fire Hammer squad. That Luo Fong punk is also here, and he seems to be doing quite well. Captain, it's this bastard that made me lose 100 million, said Zhang Zehu. Let's take this opportunity to kill him. 100 million, even to Zhang Zehu, is a huge amount of money. Since he's only an advanced warrior, he only earned 100 million after risking his life for 2 years. Kill him? The other members of the squad were slightly surprised. The Tiger Fong captain slightly frowned, then laughed. Good idea. Xiao, Dong, you two use your sniper rifles to deal with the important members of the Fire Hammer squad. Then, immediately open fire at the 2 monster hordes. We're far away, so if we suddenly shoot, the monsters won't be able to tell where the bullets are coming from. These regular monsters have low intelligence. Once they get hit, they'll only furiously attack any human they see. Laughed the Tiger Fong captain coldly. At that time, the other 2 monster hordes around this street will quickly be attracted by the Fire Hammer squad and surround them. A large-scale battle will cause a large amount of monsters to gather there, which will cause the monsters in other areas to become sparse. This way, we can easily pass through a few miles. The other members of the Tiger Fong squad went silent. They've done things to other fighters before. However, they usually do it to steal the monster's corpse. And this time, Dong, help me aim at that Luo Fong and kill him in one shot. Help me vent my anger, said Zhang Zehu as he clenched his teeth. Do it, ordered the Tiger Fong captain. Yes, captain. The 2 members with firearms didn't hesitate anymore. They've experienced killing monsters and killing people on the border of life and death. Luo Fong. Zhang Zehu stood at the edge of the balcony and let out a cold smile as he watched the members of the Fire Hammer squad successfully kill the twin-tailed Ocelot. If you dare to mess with my money, then I'll take your life. Go regret it in hell. And the 2 sniper rifles were already set up. The 2 firearms members laid in front of the sniper rifles. They both chose to use special high-power armor-piercing bullets and started to aim, adjust the angle, etc. In just an instant, the 2 of them slightly nodded towards the Tiger Fong captain, indicating that they were ready. Oh, the Tiger Fong captain waved his hand. The 2 members pulled the trigger at the same time. Pong, pong. 2 low sounds suddenly rang. 2 bullets instantly tore through the air and shot towards the members of the Fire Hammer squad who were dissecting the twin-tailed Ocelot's corpse. Even though the sound was loud, the speed of the bullets was a few times faster than the speed of sound. The members of the Fire Hammer squad didn't even hear the sound, and the bullets already arrived. Chapter 49. The tendon in the Ocelot monster's tail is worth a lot of money. Luo Feng's ghost blade made a chi sound as it sliced open the Ocelot monster's tail and took out the transparent tendon. He looked at Wei Tai on the side and laughed. Brother Tai sure is Brother Tai. When the twin-tailed Ocelot rammed into you, you almost spat out blood and scared me. But now it looks like Brother Tai is fine. Are you stupid? If you don't spit out blood, are you going to hold on? That'll cause more damage. Wei Tai laughed as he scolded. All right, Hurry up and collect them one by one, laughed Chingu. The 6 members of the Fire Hammer Squad were in a good mood. Captain Gao Feng squatted next to the twin-tailed ocelot's corpse as he dissected it. Of course, the twin-tailed ocelot's corpse is the hardest to dissect. Luo Feng brought luck to our squad. On the first day, we killed 2 commander-level monsters, laughed Gao Feng as he dissected. Ha! Captain, you have to reward me for this. I was the one who pushed for Luo Feng to come in, laughed Chingu. The group of people laughed happily. HM. As if his tail was on fire, Luo Feng's eyes instantly widened. With Luo Feng's reaction speed, which allowed him to dodge a large amount of rubber bullets in the reaction speed test, he could almost instinctively determine the blurry image that caused the air to vibrate was a bullet. Its speed was more than 10 times faster than the rubber bullets in a reaction speed test. Luo Feng didn't even have time to yell. The extreme nervousness caused Luo Feng's body to instantly produce large amounts of adrenaline. His heart rate increased to a shocking rate. All the hairs on his body stood up, and his nerves were stretched to an unprecedented limit. Even the spiritual force in his realm of consciousness quickly spread out and covered his entire body. A life or death crisis. A human survival instinct caused Luo Feng's entire body and spirit to instantly reach their peak. Pu. The armor-piercing bullet tore through the air and shot towards Luo Feng's head. Luo Feng's ghost blade, which he used to cut open the ocelot's tail, almost reflexively swung it away. His entire body's strength was pushed to its limit, and his waist, which was the center of his body's strength, was able to instantly unleash a second wave of strength after unleashing the first wave. When the conditions are right, success will follow. In the face of a life or death crisis, when his spirit and body reached their peak, Luo Feng's body naturally released a second wave of energy. 9-stage Thunderblade. First stage. He actually succeeded just like that. Bloody Shadow Saber's speed skyrocketed. Speed up. Luo Feng's spiritual force instinctively acted on his blade, causing it to speed up even more. Slow down. His spiritual force didn't hesitate at all and directly acted on the armor-piercing bullet that was flying towards him. The speed of the armor-piercing bullet dropped from 4 times the speed of sound to 1 times the speed of sound. With a clang sound, Luo Feng's ghost blade directly struck the armor-piercing bullet. The tip of the armor-piercing bullet caved in, and the entire bullet bounced off. Pung! The other armor-piercing bullet was shot towards Captain Gao Feng's head. According to the Tiger Feng Squad's plan, Zhang Zehu's goal was to kill Luo Feng, and the strongest member of the Fire Hammer Squad was Gao Feng. So these 2 bullets were prepared for Luo Feng and Gao Feng. Gao Feng, who was squatting next to the body of the double-tailed ocelot, had his back to the bullet, so he didn't see the armor-piercing bullet at all. Pooh! The dagger in Gao Feng's hand suddenly cut open the ocelot's fur. The sudden force caused his body to sway, and the bullet that was originally aimed at his head suddenly missed. Just as he was about to marvel at the toughness of the ocelot's fur, whoosh! The extremely fast armor-piercing bullet flew past Gao Feng's ear, and a strong air current caused Gao Feng's ear to instantly bleed. Pung! The armor-piercing bullet fiercely shot into Zhang Ke's shoulder, who was next to Gao Feng. That shot, which was enough to burst open a low-level commander's armor, instantly shattered the muscles and bones in Zhang Ke's shoulder. With a boom, Zhang Ke's right arm was sent flying, and with a poochie sound, fresh blood sprayed out like water. Zhang Ke screamed in pain. A sniper rifle bullet. Gao Feng looked at the fresh blood that sprayed out of Zhang Ke's broken arm, which even sprayed onto Gao Feng. This caused Gao Feng's eyes to turn red, and he roared, "Enemy attack! Which bastard is it?" Wei Tai and Wei Qing also roared. As they roared in anger, almost everyone in the Fire Hammer Squad moved quickly. No one dared to stand still when a sniper was aiming at them. Just now, the Captain Gao Feng had been lucky enough to let the bullet graze his ear because his body had swayed when he had used too much force to cut his fur. Pung, 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 for consecutive gunshots. Over there, Gao Feng, Luo Feng, and the others all stared in the direction of the gunshots with red eyes. On the distant rooftop, a few shadows flashed and disappeared. "It's the Tiger Fong squad," said Gao Feng as he clenched his teeth. "Tiger Fong." Luo Feng couldn't see it clearly. The distance was so far, and the Tiger Fong squad disappeared in an instant. To see it clearly requires amazing eyesight, and a fighter's hearing and eyesight increase along with their fitness level. Out of the 6 members of the Fire Hammer squad, Captain Gao Feng's fitness level is close to that of an intermediate level warlord. He was the only one who could see it clearly. Tiger Fong squad? The Tiger Fong squad that Zhang Zhe, who was in? Luo Feng couldn't help but to be furious. Of course, he did some research on this Zhang Zhe and knew that Zhang Zhe, who was a member of the Tiger Fong squad. He actually wants to kill me. Ice cold. Luo Feng truly felt that fighters don't get along well with each other. Zhang Ke, old Zhang. Everyone surrounded him. Luo Feng also ran to Zhang Ke's side. Zhang Ke's face was pale as he laid on the ground. His right shoulder was completely shattered by the armor-piercing bullet, and his right arm flew off a long time ago. Even the battle uniform on his body had some cracks. The power of this shot was way too great. Zhang Ke's face was pale as Chungu hurriedly helped to stop the bleeding. "It's me, Zhang Ke. You took this shot for me." Zhang Ke covered his ears. "Brother Zhang." Luo Feng also clenched his fists and his eyes were red. It was Brother Zhang and Brother Chun who brought him into the Fire Hammer squad. Not good. Gao Feng's face changed. Run. Just now, the Tiger Fong squad shot a total of 6 bullets. 2 of them were shot towards Luo Feng and Gao Feng, while the other 4 were shot towards the surrounding monsters. At this time, the angry roars of the monsters resounded in the surroundings. Everyone in the Fire Hammer squad immediately understood why the Tiger Fong squad shot 4 more bullets. "So devious, they're going to kill all of us. Hurry and run." Wei Qing carried Zhang Ke, who had lost a lot of blood, and the group immediately sprinted. Rumble. A large amount of iron fur boars appeared on the street in front of them. Each of the iron fur boars was huge, and when a few hundred of them ran over, it was as if there was an earthquake. Everyone in the Fire Hammer squad was shocked. Right when they were about to change direction, a huge tremor came from behind them. An even more shocking amount of monsters ran over. Not only were there horned boars in this monster horde, but there were also lion mastiffs. There were over 1,000 monsters in this monster horde. "We're in big trouble." The faces of everyone in the Fire Hammer squad changed. "Climb over the wall," commanded Gao Feng. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Fire Hammer squad swiftly climbed over the broken wall. At this time, the monsters, who were infuriated by the 4 bullets from the sniper rifle, only knew that only humans have these devious and terrifying hidden weapons. When they saw the humans climb over the wall, they were almost in unison. Rumble! The horned wild boars lowered their heads and slammed into the wall. The wall, which had been exposed to the elements for decades, collapsed almost instantly. More than 1,000 monsters rushed towards them in a dense horde. The Fire Hammer squad turned around, and their faces couldn't help but to change. "Brothers, we're going to die this time. Let's run for our lives. If we can survive, then we'll all die for sure." As they ran, Captain Gao Feng yelled with red eyes, "This fucking Tiger Fong squad. If I, Gao Feng, don't die this time, I'll make them pay with their blood." Everyone scatter and run. Wei Tai and Wei Qing also clenched their teeth. When surrounded by more than 1,000 monsters, even a warrior-level expert could only flee pathetically. Tiger Fong squad. Zhang Zhe. Luo Feng had a feeling that the other side's attack this time was probably because he forced Zhang Zhe, who to spend 100 million last time. The Tiger Fong squad wouldn't attack for no reason. Could it be because of me? Because of me, Brother Zhang is like this? Luo Feng's heart was filled with guilt and killing intent. Zhang Zhe. Tiger Fong squad. Luo Feng's eyes were red. "Captain, Brother Chun," roared Luo Feng. This roar caused Captain Gao Feng, the Wei Jia brothers, Chun Gu, and the others to look at Luo Feng in shock. Luo Feng clenched his teeth and roared, "Follow me. We can all leave here alive." With a hoo-hoo sound, The throwing knives on Luo Feng's thigh instantly flew up and hovered around Luo Feng. Chapter 50. Gao Feng, the Weijia brothers, Chen Gu, and the others, who originally thought that they were going to die, were all stunned when they saw 6 throwing knives hovering around Luo Feng's body. Chen Gu even fiercely blinked twice. Indeed, they didn't see wrong. These throwing knives were indeed hovering without anything supporting them. Spirit reader. Telekinesis. Luo Feng's a spirit reader. Various thoughts popped up in Gao Feng and the others' heads. They were all so excited that their faces were flushed red. Gao Feng even yelled, "Listen to Luo Feng, follow Luo Feng." Rumble. The crazed monster horde started running, causing the broken cement ground to split open. Even the broken buildings on the side were shaken to the point that powder fell off. There's an old saying, 10,000 horses galloping, but every single monster here is 10 to 100 times stronger than the war horses of the past. Over 1,000 monsters galloping is even scarier than 10,000 horses galloping. Left, Luo Feng yelled. Immediately, the other members of the Fire Hammer squad followed Luo Feng and fiercely charged towards the left. Wei Qing was carrying Zhang Ku, who had lost a lot of blood. Roar, howl. The stench of a monster spread out. Because they didn't run away and instead ran towards the left, Luo Feng's group instantly collided with a monster horde that was chasing after them. The stench of the monster horde filled their noses. At this time, Luo Feng clenched his teeth and his gaze was cold. The 6 throwing knives that were hovering around him instantly moved. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 6 throwing knives instantly became illusions. Pucci, the throwing knife, directly pierced through the head of a charging lion mastiff. Brain matter also flew out along with the throwing knife. And this throwing knife, under the control of spiritual force, instantly pierced through another monster's head at an astonishing speed. 6 throwing knives. In the blink of an eye, the 30 or so monsters closest to Luo Feng's group all had their heads pierced through. Fresh blood and brain matter flew everywhere. Howl, rumble. Amidst the shrill roars of the beasts, the 30 or so monsters that were running at top speed all collapsed with a loud bang. When they collapsed, they even slid along the ground for more than 10 meters due to the inertia. For a moment, the Fire Hammer squad was left with a large number of monster corpses on the ground behind them. Gao Feng, Chen Gu, the Wei brothers, and the pale-faced Zhang Ku were all shocked. They already knew that spirit readers were very strong, but this was too abnormal. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Each of the 6 flying knives transformed into a stream of light. As long as there was a monster within a 20-meter radius, it would be instantly pierced through its head. This precise control was also very frightening. This rate of consumption of spiritual force is way too fast. Luo Feng was also shocked. Every time the throwing knife pierced the monster's head, it would consume quite a bit of energy. The skulls of these monsters were much harder than ordinary mountain rocks. Now that he had only killed more than 50 monsters in one go, he had consumed a lot of spirit power. Chen Gu, who was behind Luo Feng, yelled in shock, "Damn, this spirit reader is too sick. Even if there are 1,000 monsters, we can kill them all. Don't talk nonsense. It's such a big commotion. The longer we drag this out, the more monsters we'll attract. Right now, there's 1,000, and in a bit, there'll be 5,000 monsters surrounding us. If we drag this out, there might even be 10,000 monsters surrounding us. And there'll be quite a few commander-level monsters among them. How do you kill spirit readers? Do you think that spirit readers don't need to use their spiritual force to kill monsters?" Gao Feng laughed as he scolded. The Fire Hammer squad was still in the mood to chat under the attack of the monsters. One can imagine that Gao Feng, Chen Gu, and the others weren't under any pressure at all. All the monsters were killed by the flying, throwing knives. "Climb over the wall," commanded Luo Feng. The sprinting Fire Hammer squad arrived in front of a wall and jumped over it one by one. Even though quite a few monsters died in the horde behind them, the monsters were all crazily bloodthirsty and weren't afraid of death. They howled as they continued to charge forward, but the sprinting Fire Hammer squad had their heads pierced through Any monster that approached Luo Feng's throwing knife domain had their heads pierced. Note: as of now, Luo Feng's body fitness level has barely reached the boundary of an advanced level warrior. His spiritual force is usually 2 levels higher than his body fitness level. Then, his spiritual force has reached the bottom line of an intermediate level warlord. Spirit readers are the scariest existences among fighters. They can easily kill existences of the same level. With his telekinesis, Luo Feng can stay far away from the monsters and use his throwing knives to stab them to death. However, as of now, Luo Feng can only use 2 throwing knives at the same time to ensure that his throwing knives are at their strongest. The more throwing knives he uses, the weaker the power of each throwing knife becomes. Indeed, Luo Feng can use hundreds of throwing knives at once, but not only will the power decrease, but he won't even be able to guarantee his accuracy. With 6 throwing knives, Luo Feng can guarantee that each throwing knife can deal with a low-level commander-level monster, and his accuracy can also be guaranteed. With 2 throwing knives, Luo Feng can guarantee that they can deal with an intermediate-level commander-level monster. Rumble. The fearless monsters smashed through the wall. Poochie. Poochie. As soon as they got close to the sprinting Firehammer squad, the monsters were instantly killed. Fresh blood and brain matter flew everywhere, and the corpses of the monsters behind them fell into chaos. As the Firehammer squad turned a corner in the distance, they immediately lost quite a few monsters. At this time, the Tiger Fang squad has already run far away. The Firehammer squad attracted a large amount of monsters, which decreased the number of monsters on the surrounding roads. The Tiger Fang squad quickly advanced far away. When they reached a new monster area, the Tiger Fang squad's speed once again slowed down as they carefully advanced. What happened just now? You didn't kill a single one. The Tiger Fang captain frowned as he asked. Captain, I just shot at the Firehammer squad's captain, Gao Feng, but that Gao Feng was dissecting a monster's corpse. Coincidentally, he was using his dagger, so his body tilted and the armor-piercing bullet flew past his head. It heavily injured another member of the Firehammer squad, causing that member's arm to explode. However, I'm not sure if he's dead or alive, said the skinny A Xiao. That Gao Feng was lucky. Zhang Zehu frowned as he looked at the other person. Dong Zi, I told you to kill Luo Feng. How come he's not dead? At that time, the distance was far and the bullet was fast. Only the 2 snipers with sniper rifles and optical sights could clearly see what happened at that moment. That Luo Feng, the sniper called Dong, hesitated for a bit before saying, his luck is pretty good. When I fired, he was cutting the monster's fur, so he took the opportunity to swing his blade and hit my armor-piercing bullet. This was the only thing Dong could say, since he didn't think that Luo Feng's reaction speed was fast enough to hit the armor-piercing bullet. Then it can only be luck. After all, to be able to hit an armor-piercing bullet requires a ridiculous amount of eyesight and accuracy. Damn, this Luo Feng is so lucky. Zhang Zehu couldn't help but to curse. But don't worry. The sniper Dongzi laughed. Our 4 shots from before have already caused the monster horde to surround the only human Firehammer squad that they can find. There are over 1,000 monsters. No matter how powerful the Firehammer squad is, they're definitely done for. No, the Tiger Fang captain shook his head, not necessarily. If the Firehammer squad split up and escaped, maybe 1 or 2 of them might survive. As he said that, the Tiger Fang captain let out a smile. Of course, just 1 or 2 of them surviving won't pose any threat to our Tiger Fang squad. Captain, maybe they just happen to meet a war god-level existence and can save them, laughed the one-eyed middle-aged man. To meet a war god-level fighter in such a short amount of time in a county city, and to get this war god-level fighter to help. The chances of that are much lower than winning the lottery. The Tiger Fang captain grinned. All right, let's all head out. That old bastard is still moving around. We'll catch up as soon as possible. Yes. The Tiger Fang squad immediately moved forward. On the rooftop of a normal 6-story apartment building, Luo Feng's group swiftly rushed up to the rooftop. K.A. The door to the rooftop was immediately shut. Hurry. Let old Zhang lie down, said Chenggu. Get the medicine, said Gao Feng hurriedly. With Zhang Ke's injuries, even if he bleeds, he'll die. Thankfully, the bleeding stopped just now. However, such a heavy injury requires some basic treatment. After all, the distance between number 0201 County City and the military base is a full 3 days walk. With Zhang Ke's current condition, he needs to travel for 3 days? He definitely can't handle it. Old Zhang, keep this in your mouth and replenish your energy. Chun Gu took out a pill and put it in Zhang Ke's mouth. Wei Tai, carefully treat Zhang Ke's injuries, commanded Gao Feng. The members of the Fire Hammer Squad were busy taking care of Zhang Ke. The pale-faced Zhang Ke's body was promptly replenished with energy, and his furrowed brows smoothed out. As the treatment continued, the members of the Fire Hammer Squad gradually relaxed. Not bad. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. He looked at the pale-faced brother Zhang, especially his right arm that disappeared along with half of his shoulder. He couldn't help but to feel guilty. Brother Zhang won't be able to use a spear in the future. His career as a fighter is over. Luo Feng believed that the Tiger Fong Squad's actions were most likely because of him. Luo Feng also felt very guilty towards Brother Zhang. Tiger Fong Squad. Zhang Zehu. Luo Feng's heart was filled with rage. I, Luo Feng, swear that I'll make you pay with your blood and let you know the feeling of being annihilated. Tiger Fong Squad. These bastards, they're trying to annihilate our entire Fire Hammer Squad. Chun Gu couldn't help but to curse. F*** King Tiger Fong Squad. We'll definitely get revenge, howled Wei Tai. These bastards, Gao Feng, will make them regret this. Gao Feng clenched his fists and then looked towards Luo Feng. Thankfully, we have Luo Feng this time. So we can... Yeah, Luo Feng. How can you teleport? Suddenly, the entire Fire Hammer Squad, including Zhang Ke, who was lying on the ground, looked towards Luo Feng. Chapter 51. Luo Feng knew that when he controlled his throwing knife to save everyone, he also exposed his secret of being a spirit reader. Everyone probably guessed it by now, but you're all purposely looking at me like that. All right, I admit it. Luo Feng let out a helpless smile. I'm a spirit reader. Haha, Chun Gu happily laughed. Luo Feng, I wasn't wrong about you. Wei Qing and Wei Tai also let out a smile. A spirit reader also appeared in our Fire Hammer Squad. Gao Feng smiled as he nodded. I believe that if the Tiger Fong Squad knew that Luo Feng was this strong, they wouldn't dare to play dirty. If they knew that they offended a spirit reader, they would definitely regret it. If they knew that they had offended a spirit reader, they would definitely regret it. If they knew that they offended a spirit reader, they would definitely regret it. Zhang Ke, who was lying on the side, couldn't help but to say, the strongest members of the Tiger Fong Squad are only 2 intermediate-level warlord fighters, and Luo Feng's current fitness level barely reached the advanced warrior level. According to the rules, spiritual force is 2 levels higher than the fitness level, so he should be at the intermediate-level warlord level. However, an intermediate-level warlord level spirit reader can definitely wipe out existences of the same level. They can even compare to fighters 1 level higher. Every fighter knows how terrifying a spirit reader is. They can definitely wipe out other fighters of the same level. No matter how powerful your blade technique, shield technique, or technique is, a spirit reader can hide far away and control the throwing knife to attack. And the throwing knife can instantly change directions, so its speed can definitely surpass the speed of sound. How can fighters of the same level fight? Luo Feng just needs to be careful. He can wipe out the entire Tiger Fong Squad by himself. Chun Gu grinned. This time, the Tiger Fong Squad messed with our Fire Hammer Squad. This is the dumbest thing they've ever done. We were really lucky this time, Gao Feng sighed. Gao Feng's fitness level barely reached the intermediate level warlord level, but in front of a monster horde, he was useless. This is the difference between a regular fighter and a spirit reader. Brother Zhang, Luo Feng half squatted in front of Zhang Ke and looked at the pale Zhang Ke as he said quietly, this time, the Tiger Fong Squad attacked us probably because I offended that Zhangze. This time, Brother Zhang, I broke your arm. I'm sorry. The Fire Hammer Squad quieted down and looked at Luo Feng and Zhang Ke. Luo Feng, Zhang Ke smiled. Don't take everything on yourself. This time, you saved our entire team. There's no doubt about that. As for me, Zhang Ke lowered his head and looked at the wound on his right shoulder. His right arm had long since disappeared into the herd of beasts. My life as an independent warrior is over. Zhang Ke sighed. Gao Feng, Chun Gu, the Wei Jiao brothers, and Luo Feng were all silent. However, Zhang Ke revealed a smile. This is actually the best situation that I expected. I still remember the Grand Nirvana period when I was still a child. I came from that era and personally saw a large number of people being killed by monsters during the Grand Nirvana period. At that time, I swore that when I grow up, I will personally kill those monsters and become a hero. I've been working hard. Finally, I've become a martial artist, an independent martial artist. I will enter the wild to kill a large number of monsters and fulfill my childhood dream. I also became a hero in people's eyes. My wife worshipped me and eventually married me. My daughter has always been proud of having a powerful fighter for her dad. As time passed, I killed more and more monsters. Slowly, I got tired of it. Every time I come to the wild, my wife and child are always worried that I'll die. I'm also worried that I won't be able to see them again. But I don't have the courage to quit, Zhang Ke said slowly. It's been like this for the past 10 years. I've already gotten used to it. At this moment, Luo Feng didn't feel good. Family? He also has a brother and parents. They're all worried about him. This injury gave me a reason to quit, Zhang Ke slightly smiled. I've been tired of it for the past 10 years. In the future, I can also go to the dojo. With my accomplishments, I can definitely become an instructor in a district-level dojo of limits. More time I can spend with my wife and child. And behind me, you guys. To be able to become brothers with a spirit reader before quitting, it's worth it. Luo Feng squeezed out a smile. Brother, enjoy your peaceful life, encouraged Gao Feng. If you need anything in the future, come find me. We've been together for 7 or 8 years. We're brothers in life and death. Okay, Zhang Ke smiled as he nodded. I won't be humble. If there's any trouble, I'll definitely come find you guys. Especially Luo Feng. I know that spirit readers have a period where their strength increases at an astonishing rate. Your strength will continue to increase. In the future, Luo Feng, you'll be amazing. If there's anything I need to trouble you with in the future, don't push it. Asking me to do something? Brother Zhang was the one who pushed him to join the Firehammer squad. And Brother Zhang's crippling probably has something to do with me. So how can I not help? Brother Zhang, your problems are my problems, said Luo Feng. Zhang Ke nodded and then asked curiously, Oh yeah, Luo Feng, why have you been hiding the fact that you're a spirit reader? Mainly because I don't want too much trouble. Luo Feng shook his head as he smiled. Once the fact that I'm a spirit reader is exposed, I won't be able to live a peaceful life in the future. After becoming a fighter, he read many posts on the Home of Limits before realizing that it's best to keep his secret as a spirit reader's secret. Because once it's made public, he'll become the focus of the dojo of Limits training. He'll first be sent to the dojo of Limits World Headquarters, where he'll receive good training, good conditions, etc. He won't be able to maintain his peaceful life. Even though he occasionally comes to the wilderness, he can at least stay with his parents when he goes back. Okay, Gao Feng nodded. Luo Feng is right. Right now, whether it's the government army, dojos, families, etc., they're all crazily fighting over spirit readers. They were all frantically fighting over spirit readers. Once a spirit reader appeared, all the powers would fight over it. The government army will use all sorts of methods, so after the dojo finds out, they'll quickly move their spirit readers out of the country. Only after they form an agreement with the government army will they let the spirit readers come back. Spirit Reader Master was a trump card. Every spirit reader is very useful, enough to cause all the powers to fight over them. Even though they have special privileges, they'll lose the life of a normal fighter. Captain, I hope everyone can help me keep this a secret and don't make it public, said Luo Feng. Okay, of course not. Our fighter squad loves you, Luo Feng. To keep secrets, laughed Gao Feng. Chun Gu also nodded excitedly on the side. Yeah, our Firehammer squad has a spirit reader. Other fighter squads don't know about it. If we show weakness to our enemies, they won't be on guard. If they mess with us, they'll be at a disadvantage. And when we hunt monsters in the future, we'll have an advantage. A trump card is only called a trump card if it's hidden. Once it's made public, it won't have any special effects. Yeah, in the future, the captain will fight the monsters head-on while Luo Feng uses throwing knives to ambush them. One hit, one kill, Wei Tai couldn't help but to say. Wei Qing also said on the side. Yeah, Luo Feng will first use his blade to attack and make the monsters think that Luo Feng is using a blade. Then, Luo Feng will secretly use throwing knives to catch them off guard. The monsters won't even have time to cry. With a spirit reader in the squad, the strength of the entire squad will explode by 10 times. The members of the Fire Hammer squad were discussing about Luo Feng's future role in the squad. All of them were extremely excited. Clearly, the addition of a spirit reader is extremely beneficial to the Fire Hammer squad. After a while, the members of the Fire Hammer squad started to rest. The sky slowly darkened, and they could see the stars in the sky. Under the stars, Luo Feng quietly sat on the edge of the rooftop and thought about the battle from before. In today's battle, when that armor-piercing bullet came, I actually used the first stage of the 9-stage Thunderblade. As he thought about this, Luo Feng couldn't help but to stand up, walk to the side, and pull out his ghost blade. With one step forward, the core area of the body's strength. The waist almost instantly erupted with a burst of strength. But at the same time, the moment the muscle strength was transmitted to the arm, the waist area naturally, like the transmission of a wave, once again erupted with another burst of strength. 2 waves of power continuously entered his arm. Pucci, the ghost blade, turned into a cold light and sliced across the sky. Indeed, I can already release one more wave of hidden force. With 2 waves of power combined, 70% plus 70% is 140%. Luo Feng also felt that his body had used up all of its energy after releasing one more wave of hidden energy. He had no way of releasing another wave of hidden energy. Even so, it's still pretty good. The 9-stage Thunderblade is extremely hard to learn, so naturally, he was able to reach the first stage in a moment of life and death. Then there's hope for him to continue improving in the future. Suddenly, a furious and unwilling howl of a wolf came from somewhere below. Under the starry sky, the members of the Fire Hammer squad who were resting were startled awake. It's the howl of a wolf, said Gao Feng seriously. There's actually a wolf-type monster. Chenggu also took in a deep breath. Every single wolf-type monster is not to be messed with. Wolf-type? Luo Feng was also shocked. These wolf-type monsters were very rare before the Grand Nirvana period, and they were extremely savage. After the Grand Nirvana, the wildness and savageness of these wolf-type monsters are who knows how many times stronger than before. They're also incredibly powerful. Whoosh! Luo Feng picked up his binoculars and sprinted to the edge of the rooftop. He followed the howl and looked down. Chapter 52. With this high magnification and night vision binoculars, he quickly discovered that on a street around 2 miles away from him, there was a huge wolf that was around 3 meters tall and 5 to 6 meters long. The wolf's entire body was gray, with only a few white hairs on its forehead. Even from afar, Luo Feng could feel the killing intent this wolf was emitting. Luo Feng compared it to the monster information in his memory. It's the hunter, Silver Moon Wolf, Chun Gu's shocked voice carried from the side. It's actually the king of wolf-type monsters, Silver Moon Wolf. Luo Feng couldn't help but to be stunned. Yeah, this is a Silver Moon Wolf. Silver Moon Wolf, the king of wolf-type monsters. Even the weakest adult Silver Moon Wolf is a medium-level commander. A commander-level Silver Moon Wolf's normal fur is gray. Once it fights, its fur will all turn silver-white. The tuft of silvery white hair on his forehead would turn blood red in battle. It's famous for its cunning, craziness, and brutality. And its fur is worth an astronomical price in human society because it has many special uses. The Silver Moon Wolf skull is incomparably hard, so its price is equally high. This is a high-level commander level silver moon wolf, Luo Feng, judged based on its size. He couldn't help but to take in a breath of cold air. High-level commander level. And it's a silver moon wolf. Not all high-level commander level monsters are the same. How can a spirit reader of the same level be the same as a regular fighter? Silver moon wolves are much more brutal and powerful by nature. Look, its abdomen is injured, and it's quite heavily, Wei Tai said in a low voice. Almost everyone on the scene turned their heads towards Captain Gao Feng. Captain, this is the king of wolves, Silver Moon Wolf. High-level commander level monster. This Silver Moon Wolf is even more expensive than 10 high-level commander level Mastiff Tiger monsters. We'll make a huge profit with this, Chungu couldn't help but to say excitedly. Captain, hurry up and make a decision. Wei Tai on the side also couldn't help but to say, Captain, the Silver Moon Wolf is quickly advancing and will soon disappear from our field of vision. We can't hesitate, even if the Silver Moon Wolf is heavily injured, is still not something we can deal with. Gao Feng growled, Wake up, don't be blinded by money. A heavily injured high-level commander is hard to come by. Not to mention the heavily injured Silver Moon Fierce Wolf of the Wolf Royal family. Encountering it was like winning the lottery. You have to know that an uninjured high-level commander level Silver Moon Wolf is not even a human high-level warrior's opponent. Captain, I'll go try, Luo Feng said. Luo Feng. Gao Feng hesitated. You have won. I don't have full confidence in killing the Silver Moon Direwolf. After all, I haven't killed him before. But I'm 100% sure that I can escape with my life. Luo Feng laughed. He's a spirit reader, and the most enviable thing about a spirit reader is the ability to fly. Psychic power could only be used on inanimate objects. Luo Feng could instantly use his spiritual force on his alloy battle boots, allowing him to jump to an astonishing height. Then, he placed the shield under his feet so that he could stand firm, using his spiritual force to control the shield's flight. Naturally, Luo Feng can fly as well. Flying. This is the most enviable ability of spirit readers. Even war god level fighters can't help but be envious. This is also one of the reasons why spirit readers are fought over by all the forces in the world. All right, Luo Feng, be careful. If you can get it, then do it. If you can't, then don't force yourself. Safety first, Gao Feng instructed. Don't worry, smiled Luo Feng. With the shield and ghost blade in hand, Luo Feng directly jumped down from the rooftop of the 6-story apartment building. Who? Luo Feng rapidly descended. A normal high-level warrior's body can handle the impact of falling from a height of 6 stories. However, Luo Feng isn't that stupid. A strong, invisible force acted on his alloy battle boots, causing Luo Feng's speed to decrease. He easily landed on the ground of the sector below. Whoosh! Luo Feng immediately sprinted outwards like an agile monkey. With 2 leaps, Luo Feng arrived on the street. The other members of the Fire Hammer Squad on the rooftop watched carefully with their binoculars. This is Luo Feng's true strength. Wei Tai couldn't help but to exclaim, Spirit readers are indeed the scariest group of fighters. This is way too scary. With the help of spiritual force, their speed, agility, etc. can reach an unbelievable level. And they can teleport. That's even more insane. Insane. Chungu couldn't help but to nod. Haha, so you guys should be happy. Gao Feng slightly smiled. A spirit reader joined our Fire Hammer Squad just like that. After hearing this, the other people instantly laughed. Captain, do you guys think Luo Feng can kill that Silver Moon Wolf? Laughed Zhang Ku, who was lying on the ground. Hard to say. Gao Feng hesitated. It's a high-level commander-level monster, and Luo Feng just stepped into the intermediate warlord-level spirit reader level. There's still hope for him against a slightly weaker high-level commander, but against a Wolf King. Luckily, this hunter, the Silver Moon Wolf, is already heavily injured. Luo Feng still has hope. There's still hope. The group of people held their binoculars and watched Luo Feng chase. Luo Feng was like a black bolt of lightning as he swiftly advanced on the street. This Silver Moon Wolf sure runs fast. Luo Feng took a shortcut and thought that he could stop the silver moon wolf. But who would have thought that he would still be around a mile away from the wolf? It turned left. Whoosh! Luo Feng ferociously turned and jumped over the wall on the left into this abandoned residential sector. He followed the shortcut and chased after the silver moon wolf. Howl! The two leisurely lying tiger and mastiff monsters saw Luo Feng, a human, and immediately stood up and let out a low growl. As the ground shook, the two tiger mastiff monsters rumbled as they charged over. Luo Feng, who was running, didn't dodge at all and was too lazy to dodge. Poochie! Poochie! Two throwing knives automatically flew out from Luo Feng's pants and transformed into two flowing lights. At such a close distance, the two tiger mastiffs couldn't dodge at all, and their heads were directly pierced. The eyes of the two tiger mastiffs were filled with fear, and they quickly lost all signs of life and dimmed down. Rumble! The two charging tiger mastiffs directly fell to the ground, causing the ground to shake. The two flying throwing knives didn't even have a drop of blood on them, as they drew an arc in the air and directly flew into Luo Feng's pants. Whoosh! Luo Feng silently jumped into the alley beside him. With a glance, he saw the silver moon wolf at the end of the alley around 100 meters ahead. Oh, the silver moon wolf stopped and stared at the human not far away. Silver moon wolf. A heavily injured silver moon wolf. Luo Feng's eyes flashed and a smile appeared on his face. That's good too. I'll use you to see how strong I am right now. As he said that, Luo Feng walked towards the silver moon wolf. The silver moon wolf stood in place quietly. The 3-meter-tall silver moon wolf's eyes flickered with a faint blood-red light. At the same time, the fur on its body seemed to be instilled with a strange energy, turning from gray to silver-white. For a moment, the silver moon wolf became dazzling. Even the tuft of white hair on its forehead had turned blood-red. It had a silver-white body and a blood-red crown. This was the silver moon fierce wolf. Luo Feng advanced step by step, always on guard. Just as the distance between him and the silver moon wolf shrunk to 50 meters. So, the silver moon fierce wolf turned into a silver stream of light and appeared in front of them in the blink of an eye. Sonic, the reaction speed test in the dojo allowed Luo Feng to instantly determine that this silver moon fierce wolf speed was close to the speed of sound. Luo Feng's face changed greatly. In an instant, he leaped like lightning, and the silver moon fierce wolf leaped almost at the same time. With this leap, it reached a height of 20 to 30 meters. Luo Feng could even see the blurred face of the silver moon fierce wolf and its blood-red cold eyes under the speed of sound. His powerful spiritual force abruptly used on his alloy battle boots, causing Luo Feng to abruptly rise again and dodge the silver moon fierce wolf's claw attack. So what if your body can reach the speed of sound? No matter how fast you are, can you be faster than my throwing knives? The moment Luo Feng dodged the silver moon fierce wolf's claw attack, 6 throwing knives immediately flew out of his pants. The 6 throwing knives instantly turned into 6 flowing lights and surrounded the silver moon fierce wolf like a net. The silver moon fierce wolf has been in the wilderness for many years and has extremely high intelligence. With its speed, a human fighter can't dodge its attack in the air since they can't borrow any force. Only one type of person can continuously change directions and speed up in the air: spirit readers. When the silver moon fierce wolf realized that the human fighter in front of it was a spirit reader, it couldn't help but to be shocked. But at this time, the 6 throwing knives arrived like lightning. Howl! The silver moon fierce wolf howled. It couldn't change directions or speed up in the air. It could only fiercely twist its body and grab the throwing knives with its claws like lightning. At such a close distance, Luo Feng's reaction speed couldn't make the throwing knives dodge in time. Pung! Pung! Out of the 6 throwing knives, 2 were directly shot down. Luo Feng, who was in midair, let out a smile. Even though he shot out 6 throwing knives just now, in reality, the current him could only guarantee that 2 throwing knives would be at their strongest. So the 6 throwing knives were just to confuse the silver moon fierce wolf. The ones that were truly vicious were two of the throwing knives. "Hunter, you're the first commander-level monster to die by my hand," Luo Feng laughed. Out of the four originally agile throwing knives, two became powerless, and the other two stabbed towards the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf's abdomen like lightning. The Silver Moon Wolf had no leverage in midair. Although it was howling and attacking with its claws, the Silver Moon Wolf was still unable to dodge. However, Pucci, the two throwing knives swiftly pierced through the already existing wounds and directly pierced into the body of the hunter, the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf. The internal organs of the Silver Moon Fierce Wolf were instantly turned into mush. All of the internal organs were crushed. The Silver Moon Fierce Wolf let out one last howl of anger and unwillingness before falling from midair. Chapter 53. The Silver Moon Wolf powerlessly fell from the sky. Its eyes slowly lost their color. At the moment of its death, it recalled its life. As a wolf royalty, the Silver Moon Wolf clan, it desired to become a horde leader-level existence since it was young. It always did well and became a high-level commander peak, only one step away from the horde leader level. However, it was ambushed by a human war god-level fighter squad and was heavily injured. Luckily, it managed to escape with its speed that it was proud of. However, on their way to escape, they actually encountered another small team of warlords. If this warlord-level fighter squad was at its peak, it could easily annihilate this Silver Moon Wolf squad. However, that was when it was heavily injured. However, this warlord-level squad didn't give up and chased after it again and again. No matter where it escaped to, that squad would always catch up. Disgusting human bastards. Dying in the hands of a spirit reader is better than dying in the hands of those bastards. The Silver Moon Wolf's intelligence was extremely high. It was a high-level commander-level wolf royalty, so its intelligence was comparable to a horde leader-level monster's. A horde leader's intelligence was comparable to a normal human's. If it dies in the hands of a powerful fighter. Pong! The Silver Moon Wolf's gigantic corpse heavily smashed onto the ground, causing a crumbling wall to collapse. Luo Feng also fell right after. Huff! Who would have thought that I would actually be able to kill a Silver Moon Wolf? Luo Feng stood beside the Silver Moon Wolf's corpse and let out a long sigh. At this time, four throwing knives were flying around Luo Feng and landed in his pocket. There are still two throwing knives. Luo Feng scanned his surroundings. With a glance, he saw two deep holes in the cement floor. Even the cement floor cracked from the vibrations. In the depths of these two holes were two 6-series throwing knives. This scene caused Luo Feng to take in a deep breath. The Silver Moon Wolf's speed and claw strength were unbelievably strong. To prevent other squads from finding out, I'll dissect this corpse first. This Silver Moon Wolf is worth a fortune. Luo Feng didn't have time to think. He immediately held a throwing knife and started dissecting the Silver Moon Wolf's corpse. As of now, his Ghost Blade is only a 5-series weapon, which can fight against a medium-level commander. The Flying Dagger was of the 6th series, able to fight against high-level commander-level beasts. Luo Feng ferociously slashed down along the wound on the Silver Moon Wolf's abdomen that had already opened long ago. Luo Feng's eyes widened. His throwing knife couldn't even cut through the skin that had already split open. This was unbelievable. It had to be known that it was the most difficult to dissect a monster's body when there was no wound. But once there was a big wound, the difficulty of dissecting it would be much lower. Sadly, Luo Feng's strength isn't enough to cut open a high-level commander-level corpse. Damn, looks like even dissecting monsters is hard. Luo Feng laughed and immediately used his spiritual force to control a throwing knife. The power of mind power was much stronger than the strength of his arms. Pucci, along the crack in the fur, the Flying Dagger suddenly cut down. Immediately, a chi-chi sound rang out, and the wound rapidly expanded. I use my spirit power to control the flying knife to cut, and it takes so much effort. Luo Feng was shocked. With a thought, he controlled the flying knife to fiercely stab towards the intact fur on the Silver Moon Wolf's back. The Silver Moon Wolf's back only slightly caved in, but not a single wound could be seen on its fur. Luo Feng was shocked. That's way too sick. I sure got lucky this time. Luo Feng couldn't help but to exclaim. Its speed reached the speed of sound, and its attack is so strong. Even its most expensive fur has astonishingly high defense. If it was in perfect condition, I'd only have a 20% to 30% chance of winning against it. Luo Feng's throwing knife could only attack through the eyes, ears, nose, and other weak points of the Silver Moon Wolf. However, with the Silver Moon Wolf's agility, Luo Feng's chance of winning is indeed very low. A 20% to 30% chance of winning is already pretty good. Poochie, voila! Luo Feng swiftly dissected it. First, he peeled off the magical and expensive fur. After that, he cut off the hard claws of the Silver Moon Wolf. These claws are used to make high-level Koluo alloy, so they are just as expensive. There is also the extremely hard skull, fangs, and 2 special eyeballs on the Silver Moon Wolf's body. Luo Feng dissected everything that was expensive and put it in his bag. It should be known that the invention of some special products in human society relied on the materials of many monsters. All done, Luo Feng let out a long sigh. The originally gigantic Silver Moon Wolf's corpse was only left with a pile of flesh and blood. Luo Feng put his throwing knife back into his pocket and sighed to himself. He didn't use much spiritual force to kill this Silver Moon Wolf, but the amount of spiritual force he used to dissect the corpse was more than 10 times the amount he used in the previous battle. No matter what, I earn a lot. This time, I'll be able to earn quite a bit of money. Luo Feng let out a smile. The Fire Hammer Squad's distribution of money is based on everyone's contribution in battle. No matter how strong you are, if you didn't even put in any effort to kill a monster, the Fighter Squad naturally won't give you a single cent. And Luo Feng killed the Silver Moon Wolf by himself. Indeed, Luo Feng will get a lot of money. It will be troublesome if someone finds out that I obtained the corpse of the Silver Moon Dire Wolf. Luo Feng laughed. Even an advanced warlord-level fighter can't heavily injure a Silver Moon Wolf. Probably a war god-level fighter. There was a tracking signal on the fur. Luckily, I got rid of it. Luo Feng didn't want to become enemies with a fighter that could heavily injure a Silver Moon Wolf. So hurry up and go. Whoosh! Luo Feng swiftly left. Under the night sky, all that was left was a pile of flesh and blood. In the middle of the night, large amounts of monsters lurked around the city as the Tiger Fong squad carefully advanced. Fuck, that hunter dared to run in the city because it's a commander-level monster. Other monsters did not dare to provoke it. But we can only move forward carefully. A strong bald man walking next to Zhang Zhe, who cursed, "After we kill this hunter, I'll definitely roast this Silver Moon Wolf's meat and eat it. If I don't eat its meat, I won't be able to quench my anger." Zhang Zhe, who grinned on the side, "Don't worry, that hunter has our signal on it. No matter where it runs, it won't be able to find us. That hunter, where is it?" said the Tiger Fawn captain in front of the squad in a low voice. "Captain, that hunter is around 13 miles away from us. However, it's not moving anymore, so it should be resting there." The firearm-wielding Dongza laughed as he held the locator. Immediately, the Tiger Fawn squad was overjoyed. "It's not moving anymore. Resting? Ha! They were most afraid of the hunter, the Silver Moon Wolf, running away." Zhang Zehu laughed. "That Silver Moon Wolf probably thinks that its hiding spot is safe enough, so it's hiding and preparing to recover. How would it know how strong we are? Let's go. We can't miss this chance. It's only 13 miles. We'll be there soon." The Tiger Fawn captain's eyes flashed with excitement as he said in a low voice, "Everyone hurry up. Maybe we can kill this hunter this time." The Tiger Fawn squad's speed immediately increased. If the fighter squad really does hurry up, even if there are monsters everywhere, they can still arrive within half an hour. Around 40 minutes later, in front of us is where the Silver Moon Wolf is resting. "Everyone be careful." The Tiger Fawn captain lightly waved his hand. Immediately, the 6 members of the Tiger Fawn squad began to secretly split into 2 squads. From 2 different directions, they slowly approached the Silver Moon Wolf signal. No one in the 2 squads dared to say anything. The silver moon wolf was very agile. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Everyone was very careful. Move. The tiger Fong captain waved his hand. The other squad that received the signal also moved. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 2 squads charged into the alley from 2 different directions, one in front and one behind. They were both around 100 meters away from the silver moon wolf signal. The 6 squad members all looked towards the center. That should be where the silver moon wolf was, but they didn't see the target. There was only a faint smell of blood. The Tiger Fong captain's face changed. Not good. Almost everyone in the Tiger Fong squad quickly rushed over and arrived next to the pile of meat. Next to the pile of meat, there was a tuft of hair with a faint silver glow. Fuck! Zhang Zehu grabbed the hair and cursed. Someone stole it. Many fighter squads know how to leave a signal on a heavily injured monster. Luo Feng also knows this. Plus, this silver moon wolf was already heavily injured, so there's a high chance that the signal was tracking it. So when he used his spiritual force to scan the area, he discovered the uniqueness of this tuft of feather and directly cut it off. Bastard! The Tiger Fong captain clenched his teeth and his face was ferocious. All this time, all for nothing. The one-eyed middle-aged man on the side was so angry that his face sank. Let's go. The Tiger Fong captain's eyes flashed coldly as he shouted, "You dare to steal food from the tiger's mouth and steal our things. You're looking to die." This fighter squad just finished dissecting the corpse. For safety reasons, they'll probably head towards the resupplying base. So, all brothers of the Tiger Fong squad will head towards the resupplying base as fast as possible. Try to catch up to them halfway. Yes, Captain. The 5 of them immediately responded. Let's go. The murderous Tiger Fong captain waved his hand. The equally angry members of the Tiger Fong squad immediately followed the captain and headed towards the resupplying base. Chapter 54. It was a starry night. Under the starry sky, a figure moved like a black lightning bolt through the dilapidated county. From time to time, he would walk along the street, and from time to time, he would jump through the residential area. In just a moment, he arrived at the 6-story residential building where the members of the Firehammer squad were staying. Luo Feng is here. Yes, he doesn't seem to be injured. The members of the Firehammer squad held their binoculars as they watched Luo Feng enter the apartment building. After a while, Luo Feng arrived at the rooftop. "Captain, Brother Chun," Luo Feng laughed as he yelled. "You're not injured." "Not bad. How was it? Did you kill that silver moon wolf?" No matter how calm Captain Gao Feng is, he couldn't help but to ask. Chun Gu, the Wei Jia brothers, and even Zhang Ku, who was lying on the ground, all looked at Luo Feng expectantly. Chun Gu was even more surprised as he said, "Luo Feng's bag is bulging a lot." Luo Feng laughed. "Brother Chun, your eyes sure are sharp." "Yeah, I was lucky enough to kill that silver moon wolf just now. I dissected it and collected everything in my backpack." "He was really killed?" The members of the Firehammer squad stared with wide eyes. A silver moon, fierce wolf. The royal family of wolves. Wolf-type monsters were rare to begin with, let alone the royal silver moon wolf. "I was just lucky this time." Luo Feng couldn't help but to exclaim, "This silver moon wolf's speed has probably reached the speed of sound." Its attack power was also ridiculously strong, and the fur on its body was terrifyingly tough. If it wasn't for the fact that it had been heavily injured from the start, with a large wound on its abdomen, it wouldn't have been able to survive. "It's very difficult for me to kill it." "Speed of sound?" Chun Gu's eyes widened. "Too perverted. As expected of a werewolf royalty, it can rival a novice lord of the pig race." Wei Tai couldn't help but exclaim, "Not good." Gao Feng's expression changed drastically. Luo Feng was shocked by the captain. "Captain, what's wrong?" "What's wrong?" Luo Feng asked. "This silver moon dire wolf is already severely injured. It must have fought with human warriors before." Gao Feng anxiously said, "The warrior squad that fought with it might have left a signal on the fur of the silver moon wolf. Once this team catches up and finds us, we're in trouble." Shingu was also shocked when he heard this. Yes, a martial artist team that can severely injure the silver moon dire wolf is not something we can provoke. It's very likely that there are war god-level fighters. As Luo Feng heard this, he couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Captain, don't worry. Although I don't have much experience, I've naturally looked up a lot of relevant information before entering the wilderness for the first time. I need to know some basic knowledge. After I killed the Silver Moon Wolf, I checked for a bit. There is indeed a signal left on the Silver Moon Wolf, but I cut off that patch of fur, said Luo Feng. Gao Feng and Chun Gu heaved a sigh of relief. What they were most worried about was Luo Feng's lack of experience. Since he stole a heavily injured monster, if someone catches up to him, then it'll be troublesome. Zhang Ku is heavily injured now. Our team can't stay in the wilderness for long. Everyone, take a good rest here. When the sun rises tomorrow morning, we'll set off for the supply base, Gao Feng said. Yes, Captain. The group of people replied with a smile. Early the next morning, the Fire Hammer Squad began to quietly leave the 0201 county, advancing along the dilapidated highway towards the supply base. Military region, supply base. Brother Black, Zhang Zhe, who was smoking and chatting with a bearded man in a corner of the supply base. Have you seen anyone from the Fire Hammer Squad come back recently? Fuck, that bastard Luo Feng from the Fire Hammer Squad made me spend 100 million. If I don't find trouble with him, I won't be able to vent my anger, not yet. There's no information on the return of the Fire Hammer Squad, laughed the bearded man. Who, that Luo Feng pissed you off? If you want to teach him a lesson, you have to do it in the wilderness. Fighting is forbidden in the supply base. Of course I understand that. I don't want to die, laughed Zhang Zehu. Headquarters cities and military regions have the backing of the government and army. No matter how much hatred fighters have, they wouldn't dare to fight in the military region. Otherwise, the consequences would be tragic. After all, the supply base is just a small region in the military region. The military region is responsible for the safety and other aspects. Brother Black, when that Luo Feng comes back, tell me, laughed Zhang Zehu. All right, no problem, laughed the bearded man as he nodded. Zhang Zehu threw the cigarette but on the ground, stepped on it, and laughed. Then I'll be leaving first. Talk to you later. As he said that, Zhang Zehu started advancing in the supply base. Although it's called a base, it actually feels like a residential area. Soon enough, Zhang Zehu met up with the other two squad members under a large tree near the entrance of the supply base. How is it? Asked the one-eyed middle-aged man in a low voice. They haven't come back. No news at all, smiled Zhang Zehu. The bald man laughed on the side. Not a single one has come back. From what I see, they must have all died in the monster horde. It's good that the Fire Hammer Squad died. Then there won't be any trouble. The Tiger Fong Squad wasn't afraid of the Fire Hammer Squad at all. However, if a member of the Fire Hammer Squad survived, then it would still be a bit troublesome. The Fire Hammer Squad. If you want to blame someone, blame that Luo Feng, laughed Zhang Zehu coldly. He dares to make me spend money. Oh yeah. Did you find out who stole our hunters? Nope, frowned the one-eyed middle-aged man as he shook his head. There's no news at all. Right now, the captain is smashing bottles of alcohol in his room. From what I see, since we didn't catch them on the way back, there's no hope for us to find out who stole our hunters, said the bald man as he shook his head. The bald man shook his head. Suddenly, his expression changed as he stared at the gate of the supply base in the distance. When the other two saw this, they also turned their heads to look, and their expressions changed drastically. Gao Feng, Chingu, Wei Chong, Wei Tai, Luo Feng, and even Zhang Ku were all at the entrance of the supply base. A 9, old Gao, you guys seem to have run into some trouble. The guard saw Zhang Ku's broken arm and started wrapping it up. Fuck, don't even mention it. The monster didn't hurt us, but those King Tiger Fong Squad tricked us. Gao Feng cursed. Captain, the Tiger Fong Squad is over there. Suddenly yelled Chingu. Immediately, everyone in the Fire Hammer Squad turned their heads to look. With a glance, they saw 3 people hiding under the shade of a nearby tree. Seeing these 3 people, the members of the Fire Hammer Squad couldn't help but become furious. Among them, the pale-faced Zhang Ku, who only had a backpack on his back, shouted, "Stop!" Zhang Zehu and the other 2 were shocked when they saw the 6 members of the Fire Hammer Squad. so they quickly turned around and ran. They were in the wrong for this matter, but they didn't think that Chungu would see them. "Still want to run?" yelled Gao Feng. The 6 members of the Fire Hammer Squad all rushed over. This yell immediately caught the attention of quite a few fighters in the supply base. At this time, Zhang Zehu and the other 2 didn't dare to run. If they really ran away, wouldn't that be admitting that they were in the wrong? Even though they did it, they can't admit it. "Gao Feng, what are you yelling for?" The one-eyed middle-aged man turned around and yelled, "What do you think this place is? This is the military. This is the fighter supply base. This is a place for you to behave atrociously. Even if you want to behave atrociously, look at where you are," sneered the bald man. "No matter what, they can't lose their momentum. You're still being arrogant." Gao Feng grabbed a heavy hammer from behind him with both hands. With red eyes, he waved both hammers and rushed over, looking for a beating. The one-eyed middle-aged man, Zhang Zehu, and the other 2's faces all changed. They didn't have the confidence. After all, they were in the wrong. Beat, beat, beat. An ear-piercing whistle sounded. A 12-man squad wearing battle uniforms quickly rushed over from not too far away. Among them, the captain yelled, "Put down your weapons. Fighting is forbidden in the supply base. Otherwise, our guards have the right to kill you." Chapter 55. The noise and the sound of the horn attracted many martial artists to gather here. It's the Fire Hammer Squad, and they're facing the members of the Tiger Fong Squad. How did they start fighting? The fighters discussed. The Fire Hammer Squad and the Tiger Fong Squad are both quite famous in Jiangnan headquarters city. And under the scolding of the resupplying base's guards, the Fire Hammer Squad suppressed their anger and calmed down, since they can't challenge the authority of the military. "Stop." After a roar, Luo Feng turned his head and saw a short, skinny man leading the other 2 members of the Tiger Fong Squad charging over. Chungu, who was beside Luo Feng, said quietly, "Luo Feng, this is the captain of the Tiger Fong Squad, Panya. People call him Tiger Fong. His weapon is a triangular army knife, so he's not to be messed with." Luo Feng couldn't help but to be shocked. This short, skinny, and unassuming man is the captain of the Tiger Fong Squad. Tiger Fong? Luo Feng carefully looked at this man with the nickname Tiger Fong. His gaze then swept across Zhang Zehu, who was behind the captain of the Tiger Fong Squad. At this time, Zhang Zehu even sneered at him. "Happy Zhang Zehu. Not just you, but your entire Tiger Fong Squad. I'll definitely make you regret it, definitely." Before Luo Feng entered the wilderness, he thought that Zhang Hao Bai was being cruel by ordering people to break his legs. But now, this Tiger Fong Squad wanted to wipe out his entire squad just because he had a bit of a grudge against him. They didn't even take it seriously. Compared to the Tiger Fong Squad's ruthlessness, that Zhang Hao Bai was way too immature. Captain, Zhang Zehu and the other 2 stood behind the captain. The Tiger Fong Squad and the Fire Hammer Squad were facing off against each other with a large group of people watching. And the captain of the resupplying base's guards coldly said, "Gao Feng, Panya, I don't care what you 2 are talking about. But if you fight, don't blame me. Brothers, let's go." The captain waved his hand. He was too lazy to keep watch. With a warning, these people wouldn't dare to mess around. "Tiger Fong," Gao Feng sneered. "You sure are ruthless. I, Gao Feng, have really underestimated you in the past. I didn't expect you to be so vicious and sinister." First, they used a sniper rifle to launch a sneak attack on our Fire Hammer Squad from a distance. They even lured the beasts to surround and attack our squad. They didn't even give us the slightest chance of survival. If it weren't for an expert rescuing us, our squad would have been wiped out. Immediately, the surrounding martial artists were in an uproar. The Tiger Fong Squad was too ruthless. "Gao Feng, don't talk nonsense." The Tiger Fong captain sneered. "My Tiger Fong Squad didn't do these things at all. Don't push the blame onto my Tiger Fong Squad." These kinds of shameful things couldn't be admitted no matter what. Once he admitted it, then his Tiger Fong Squad would really be in big trouble. "My brother's arm was broken by your sniper rifle." Gao Feng's face was gloomy. "If I say there isn't, then there isn't," the Tiger Fong Squad said coldly. If you have evidence, then go ahead and report it to the Security Bureau and let them decide. Don't be a chatterbox. Brothers, let's go. The Tiger Fong Squad leader was very straightforward. He didn't say much to the Firehammer Squad. Gao Feng, Chun Gu, and the others' faces were ugly. Luo Feng was also gritting his teeth in anger. However, Luo Feng was very clear that his group didn't have any evidence. Actually, there are many cases of fighter squads killing each other in the wilderness due to grudges or treasures, and most of them couldn't produce any evidence. Since they couldn't produce any evidence, the Dojo of Limits couldn't help either. Let's go. Gao Feng coldly looked at the Tiger Fong Squad leaving and growled. The members of the Firehammer Squad could only suppress their anger and leave. At the supply base, Villa A9 had temporarily become the resting place for the Firehammer Squad. Captain, don't be angry now, Luo Feng said. Let the Tiger Fong Squad be happy for now. After they enter the wilderness, it won't be too late to deal with them then. Luo Feng's words made the members of the Firehammer Squad, who were furious before, all let out smiles. Chen Gu patted Luo Feng's shoulder. Yeah, our team still has you, Luo Feng. It won't be hard to annihilate them. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Gao Feng grinned. Besides, we don't need to wait too long. With Luo Feng here, the Tiger Fong Squad is dead for sure. Suddenly, the members of the Firehammer Squad all let out smiles. Zhang Ku, who was in a bad mood before, also let out a rare sigh of relief. Spirit readers all have a period where their strength increases rapidly. Luo Feng's current strength is already terrifying, and it will continue to increase. You can say that the Tiger Fong Squad has no chance of survival. Let's not talk about the Tiger Fong Squad. Let's first deal with the monster materials we got this time, said Gao Feng. Even though we didn't leave for long, we managed to kill 4 commander-level monsters. Gao Feng said, although we didn't go out for long this time, we killed 4 commander-level monsters. They were a bloodthirsty tank, a twin-tailed ocelot, a mastiff tiger, and a hunter. Luo Feng and the others also met a low-level commander-level mastiff tiger monster on their way back. With Luo Feng and Gao Feng here, they easily killed it. However, the supply base is only so big. If we sell the hunter's materials, it'll be easy for people to find out. When that happens, the fighter squad that heavily injured the Silver Moon Wolf will be drawn out, said Gao Feng cautiously. Okay, Chingu nodded in agreement. Let's wait until we return to the headquarters city to sell the hunter's materials. Let's sell the other monster materials here to fighter squad. Soldier-level monsters aren't that valuable. The valuable ones are commander-level monsters. Of course, every single horrendous horde leader-level monster has an astronomical price. And high-level commander-level Silver Moon Wolf is not only rare, but it's also the king of the wolf species. Its price is comparable to a low-level horde leader, so it can also be sold for an astronomical price. Everyone eat and rest for a bit. We'll go sell them later, smiled Gao Feng. After dinner, the 6 members of the Firehammer Squad found the person in charge of the HR Alliance and directly sold their materials to them. Besides the materials from the Silver Moon Wolf, everything else was sold. In A9 Villa, the members of the Firehammer Squad gathered in front of the computer to split the money. Luo Feng collected quite a bit of regular soldier-level monsters, ranging from G grade to F grade. The materials from each soldier-level monster, on average, are worth around 6,000 yuan. In other words, Luo Feng gets around 120,000 yuan. The captain was splitting the money. Wei Tai collected 12 types of regular soldier-level monster materials. The captain was distributing the money. Wei Tai gathered 12 types of normal soldier-grade monster materials. All of them are F grade. The average price is around 8,000. The total price is around 100,000. Wei Qing collected normal soldier-level monster materials. Zhang Ku collected 11 types of normal soldier-level monster materials. The 6 members of the Firehammer Squad quickly split the money from the normal soldier-level materials. Alright, next is the distribution of the commander-level monster. The materials from this twin-tailed ocelot monster were sold for a total of 12 million. Gao Feng looked towards everyone. During the hunt, I was the main force. If nothing unexpected happens, I should take 60% of the money from this twin-tailed ocelot. However, during the hunt, we were attacked by the monster horde, so Luo Feng saved everyone. Luo Feng played a huge role, and Zhang Ku was heavily injured because of work. So from this commander-level monster, Zhang Ku will take 60%, I will take 10%, Luo Feng will take 15%, and Brother Wei Tai and Gu will both take 5%. No objections, right? Said Gao Feng. No objections. Luo Feng nodded. According to the rules of the warrior squad, if anyone was crippled in a battle, then 60% of the spoils would go to that person. In fact, it could also be considered as a subsidy. So, within this 12 million, 2 million goes to Zhang Ku and 8 million goes to Luo Feng. I'll get 2 million, Chun Gu and the other 600,000 each. Gao Feng entered the data. The mastiff tiger monster I killed on the way back was sold for 10 million. Luo Feng and I will each take 30%. Chun Gu, Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and Zhang Ku will each take 10%. No objections, right? Everyone nodded. Actually, Zhang Ku had not contributed in the last battle, but everyone had compensated him. Zhang Ku himself did not say much. The martial artist team was still very compassionate. Me and Luo Feng each get 3 million. Everyone else gets 1 million inch. Gao Feng smiled. The last one, the bloodthirsty tank, sold for the highest price, reaching 16 million. Chun Gu's contribution was the greatest, with a single spear kill, accounting for 60%. Luo Feng, Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and Zhang Ku each received 10%. I'll pass. If one were to ask who had the most money in the squad, it would naturally be Gao Feng. Gao Feng was pretty much the main force when hunting commander-level monsters, so after all these years, Gao Feng's money was several times or even 10 times that of the others. So, when he didn't put in much effort, Gao Feng would always be modest. In other words, Chun Gu gets 6 million, Zhang Ku, Luo Feng, Wei Qing, and Wei Tai all get 6 million inch. All in all, Chun Gu gets 26 million, Luo Feng gets 6. 52 million, me gets 4. 2 million, Zhang Ku gets 91 million, Wei Tai gets 3. 3 million, Wei Qing gets 3. 32 million inch. Gao Feng announced the final amount and laughed. Of course, we still have an astronomical treasure, the body parts of a silver moon wolf. That can definitely be sold for an astronomical price. Chapter 56. However, Luo Feng was in charge of tracking, killing, dissecting, and bringing this silver moon wolf back. He did all of this by himself. Gao Feng laughed. So this hunter Luo Feng can get the highest quota of 80%. As for the remaining 20%, the 5 of us will split it evenly. This was the rule of the fighter squad. Even if he did everything alone, he still had to give everyone some soup. Usually, when killing a commander-level monster, the person who contributed the most would get at most 60%. Someone like Luo Feng, who did it all by himself, can get the highest 80%. Luo Feng, I'm afraid you've earned more than I've earned in 10 years. Chun Gu couldn't help but to yell on the side. You have to treat me tonight. Yes, you must treat us. Let's rip this tycoon off, said Wei Tai and Wei Qing. One had to know that even Zhang Zhe, who was in the Tiger Fong squad, had only earned 100 million after 2 years of hard work. And these past 2 years were Zhang Zhe, whose strongest 2 years. In the past, his earning speed was even slower. In other words, after all these years, Zhang Zhe, who had only earned about 300 to 400 million, and Luo Feng's one try struck it rich. However, not everyone has the power to kill a hunter. Luo Feng has the power, so naturally he can earn money. In the martial arts circle, the stronger one was, the more wealth he would have. Of course, how could I dare not to? Let's go to the HR Alliance market, laughed Luo Feng. I'll split the money first and transfer it to each of your accounts, Gao Feng said with a smile. In front of everyone, he transferred the money he had previously earned through the Firehammer Squad's public account to everyone's account. Everyone in the team knew the password for the public account. Usually, after earning money, they would immediately split the money. That afternoon, Luo Feng's group took the train back to the headquarters city. The train is about to enter the station. Passengers, please prepare your belongings. The voice recorded by the train attendant echoed in the carriage. With a whoosh, the carriage door opened. Go! Gao Feng, Luo Feng, Zhang Ku, Chengu, and the Wei Jia brothers all walked out. So many people. As soon as Luo Feng got off the train, he saw a large amount of passengers coming out of the train station. Through the glass of the train station building, he could see a large amount of people waiting inside. Keep in mind that the headquarters city's main city has a population of over 100 million, so you can imagine how lively and noisy the train station is. This was called popularity, boiling popularity. Brothers, let's thank the weapons in our hands. We've once again returned to the headquarters city alive. Gao Feng exclaimed. You're back. We have returned to the human city. Luo Feng himself was equally shocked. Even though he only stayed in the wilderness for 7 to 8 days, the wilderness was in ruins. The cities in the wilderness have long been ruined. With a large amount of monsters, Luo Feng and the others had to be careful as they moved forward, afraid that they would be surrounded. Only the base cities. This was a safe place for humans to live. This was a place where civilization existed. The base city is the last base of human society. Luo Feng came to a realization. Even if it's for the sake of human society, fighters with more power should stand out. For example, I can easily kill normal soldier-level monsters, and even low-level commander-level monsters can be easily killed. But for normal humans, even if there were 1,000 people equipped with weapons, facing a commander-level monster would still be extremely dangerous. Why did the country give martial artists special rights? Why did the entire world encourage martial artists to hunt monsters? This was because the more monsters they killed, the safer the human base cities would be. Hey, wife, I think I'll get home late tonight. Zhangke was on the phone with a smile on his face. Yes, this time I'll be staying at home for a very long time. I will definitely satisfy you, my wife. It was impossible to imagine that a person with a severed arm would smile so naturally and sincerely at this time. As for the martial artists who were fighting for their lives outside, their families were the things they cared about in the depths of their hearts. Luo Feng also made a call to his home. Little Feng. Hearing the familiar voice, Luo Feng's eyes couldn't help but to feel a bit sore. He yelled, Mom, I'll probably be home late tonight. You guys don't have to wait for me for dinner. Tonight? His mother was pleasantly surprised. Okay. Your dad is outside with your brother. I'll call them. No need, I'll go back tonight. Luo Feng felt a warmth in his heart. This was home, the place Luo Feng guarded. Luo Feng, let's go, we'll go sit in the HR Alliance's fighter car, yelled Gao Feng. The others were already starting to leave. He's here. After Luo Feng hung up the phone, he immediately followed everyone along the fighter's special path. At the end of the path was a small arena. There were the Dojo of Limits, the Thunder Dojo, and the Underground Alliance Market. There were also the cars of the various families of the Underground Alliance waiting for their fighters. Seeing Luo Feng's group come out, all the drivers became alert. Let's go to the HR Alliance Market. Gao Feng and the others directly entered the HR Alliance Market's private car. All right. He started the car, put it in gear, and stepped on the accelerator. The large and comfortable off-road vehicle immediately moved forward. Inside the car, Luo Feng were about to reach the HR Alliance Market. Chengu laughed and looked at Luo Feng. That Su Xian sister you hooked up with last time might be here too. Luo Feng, now that you returned from the wilderness, you need to properly bond with them and have a deeper conversation. You pervert! Gao Feng laughed as he scolded, and then looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng, let me say something. That little girl, Su Xian, had become the manager of the bar on the first floor at such a young age. She was definitely not an ordinary person. He probably has some background. You have to be careful. Luo Feng nodded. He also had this feeling. In the past, Su Xian was very ordinary in school, but in the bar on the first floor of the HR Alliance Market, Su Xian's temperament was completely different from before. If it could be said that she was completely restrained in the past, then right now, she was revealing a glimmer of light. Are you talking about Miss Su Xian? The driver in front was surprised. You know Su Xian? Luo Feng looked at him. Of course I do. The driver laughed. We go to the mall every day and often chat with other buddies. Of course, we know this Miss Su Xian. Don't be fooled by her looks, but TSK. If anyone can marry her, it will save them a lifetime of hard work. Gao Feng's face slightly changed. Don't tell me. She's from one of the 12 families of the HR Alliance in the country. The Su family? Yeah, from a Su family. Apparently, her position in the Su family is quite high, nodded the driver. Luo Feng was also shocked when he heard this. The HR Alliance is an alliance formed by the huge families and financial groups of America, Europe, and many other countries. You can say that all the gigantic families and financial groups in the world formed an alliance. They control the entire world's economy. Even the armies of the various governments can only peacefully coexist with the HR Alliance. And among them, in the HR Alliance, other than the 9 great families and financial groups, there are also dozens of inferior families. Financial groups. These dozens of family consortiums, each one of them possessed astonishing wealth and power. Damn, this background is way too big, Chungu stared. I know this little girl's surname is Su, but I didn't think she was from the Su family. Brother Luo Feng, this time I can't help you. Getting this Su Xian girl is really hard. It's hard, but our Luo Feng isn't bad at all, said Gao Feng. Chungu, Wei Tai, Wei Qing, Zhang Ku, and the others all started laughing. From their point of view, Luo Feng is a spirit reader, and his strength will become even more terrifying in the future. Old Feng, Gao Feng called. Yeah, it's me. Of course I have something good for you. Otherwise, why would I call you? It's definitely something worth over 100 million. All right, no problem. After making the call, Gao Feng smiled as he looked at the others. I've already told Old Feng. When we reach the market, we'll directly go upstairs. Okay, Luo Feng and the others nodded. After a while, this special car passed through the soldiers' warning line and directly drove to the entrance of the HR Alliance's markets lobby. As the car door opened, the members of the Firehammer squad all got off. Mr. Gao Feng, right? Manager Feng is already waiting upstairs. A delicate and pretty woman with short hair said with a smile. She looked smart and capable. Okay, Gao Feng, Luo Feng, and the others didn't say much and directly entered the lobby. In the luxurious lobby on the first floor, quite a few fighters were chatting in the direction of the bar. Luo Feng's gaze swept towards the bar. Not here. After that, he realized that these few days are the first days of university. Even normal universities have to go through military training. And today isn't a Saturday or Sunday, so it's not weird that Su Xian isn't here. Ding! The elevator door opened, and the members of the Firehammer squad entered the elevator. Beep! The woman stood in front of the elevator door and pressed 21 foot. She then pointed her eyes towards the detector. Beep! Passed. Welcome, Miss Lu. Manager Feng is waiting for you on the 21st floor, smiled the woman. Luo Feng and the others nodded. The elevator quickly went up without stopping. After a while, with a ding sound, the elevator door opened and they arrived at the 21st floor. Chapter 57. After walking out of the elevator, they arrived at a gigantic resting hall. Just this resting hall alone was around 300 to 400 square meters. There were sofas on the side of the resting hall, and quite a few people were sitting on the sofas waiting for Manager Feng to meet them. However, what they saw was a squad dressed like fighters didn't need to wait and directly headed towards Manager Feng's office. Manager Feng is inside. Please, Miss Lu directly brought Luo Feng's group into Manager Feng's office. In the office, Luo Feng looked around. The decorations around him were crystal clear. The floor was made of tempered glass, and under the tempered glass were streams, fish, etc. Standing on the tempered glass, he could see quite a few fish under his feet. How luxurious, thought Luo Feng to himself. Gao Feng, looks like you guys earned quite a bit this time. A bald old man with a round face left his chair and laughed as he walked over. Come, sit over here. The group of people sat on the sofas on one side of the office. What's this time? Smiled the round-faced old man. Take it out and let me see. Old Feng, I'll open your eyes, laughed Gao Feng. Even though you, as a manager, receive a lot of fighter squads, You probably don't even see this stuff often. Luo Feng, take it out, oh. Manager Fong was shocked, and his eyes flashed. Luo Feng laughed as he looked at Manager Fong. He put his bag under his feet, and then took out the most valuable silver moonwolf pelt. He placed the entire pelt on the ground and spread it out. It was like a flattened silver moonwolf. One could faintly see the ferocity of the silver moonwolf. Hunter. Manager Fong couldn't help but to stand up in shock. Good boy. Manager Fong couldn't help but to exclaim in his native dialect. Old Gao, this sure is a big deal. Such a large hunter. It's probably a high-level commander. With the silver moonwolf speed, even a powerful fighter who just stepped into the war god level would have a hard time killing it. The silver moonwolf speed is indeed shocking. It can reach the speed of sound when it's heavily injured. One can imagine its speed. Hee, this pelt is quite intact. Manager Fong looked carefully. Looks like this pelt was cut along the wound. However, the degree of completeness is indeed very high. Manager Fong's eyes lit up. The fur of the silver moonwolf was indeed the best material for clothing in the world's upper class. Although the fur had other uses, some of the world's big shots were still willing to pay a high price to make clothes. Wait for me. Manager Fong immediately ran to his desk. Then, he quickly took out a password-protected box from the bookshelf behind his desk. Holding the password-protected box, Manager Fong rushed over. Gao Fong, don't be so slow. Take out the rest of the hunter's materials. Manager Fong urged with a smile. At the same time, he opened the lockbox. There was a set of precision instruments carefully placed in the lockbox. When the set of instruments was activated, the top of the instrument immediately emitted a red light. Luo Feng took them out one by one from his backpack. Strange eyeballs, sharp claws, fangs, leg bones. You've gathered enough. Manager Fong's eyes lit up. The red light from the device shone on the fur, and then on the eyes, claws, fangs, and so on. A series of data appeared on the small screen of the device. Manager Fong stared at the data with a serious expression. At the same time, he typed information through the virtual keyboard. After a moment, yup, these materials are indeed from the same hunter. This hunter is indeed a high-level commander. Right after Manager Fong finished, Gao Feng laughed on the side. It should be a high-level commander, an existence close to the Horde leader level. Even within the high-level commander rank, the difference is huge. The difference between a high-level commander that just stepped into the high-level commander level and a high-level commander that is close to the Horde leader level can be several times stronger. Naturally, the difference in price is also huge. Hee. Right, of course I can't hide this from you guys, laughed Manager Fong. All right, name your price. The members of the Firehammer squad exchanged glances. Gao Feng signaled Luo Feng with his eyes. Luo Feng laughed and said, Manager Fong, what price do you think is suitable? There are a lot of prices in the home of limits and the HR Alliance's online market. Luo Feng knows quite a bit about this hunter. High-level commander-level monsters are sold for a lower price to the Dojo of Limits, since the Dojo of Limits will give quite a bit of contribution points. And high-level commander-level monsters are usually sold for between 50 million and 500 million in the HR Alliance's online market. Of course, this hunter's strength was very strong, and it was extremely rare. Moreover, it was a wolf king, so the price would exceed the upper limit of the average price. How about this? These materials are really good. 600 million. Manager Fong took a deep breath and reported. Even for him, it was rare for him to do such a big business. Some of the materials from the corpses of low-level lore monsters were usually around this price. Gao Feng, Luo Feng, and the others knew each other. Before they came, Luo Feng and the others discussed the price, so they had some ideas. Luo Feng saw in the fighter forums that someone in South America got a medium-level commander-level hunter and sold it for around 50 million Earth dollars. 50 million Earth coins was equivalent to 175 million Huaxia dollars. Even a middle-level commander-level hunter can be sold for this much. His was a high-level commander, and it was close to a Horde leader, so its price should be much higher. Old Fong, your price is too low. Gao Feng frowned. In South America, A middle-level commander hunter could be sold for 175 million Chinese dollars. It shouldn't be a problem for us to ask for 900 million or 1 billion, right? Gao Feng, don't play with me. There's no way 900 million or 1 billion can reach this price. Manager Feng laughed bitterly. Luo Feng laughed in his heart. Actually, when the team was discussing, they said that this hunter could be sold for 700 million, 800 million. Captain Gao Feng said that just to scare Manager Feng. This time, in order to kill this silver moon wolf, we even broke my brother's arm. Gao Feng's expression wasn't too good. I won't say much to you. One final price, 800 million Chinese dollars. If you agree, then it's settled. Otherwise, I'll have to find someone else. This time, I didn't find anyone else but you, old Feng. This is because of our friendship. Manager Feng looked at Zhang Ke. Indeed, Zhang Ke's arm was broken. Looks like Manager Feng can't afford this price. Let's go. Gao Feng stood up. Luo Feng also immediately put away the silver moon wolf's fur and other items. 750 million. That's my limit. Manager Feng frowned. Gao Feng didn't say anything, so Luo Feng directly put everything away. Let's go. Gao Feng directly headed out. Gao Feng, 750 million is not bad. Manager Feng panted in anger. Seeing that Gao Feng and the others had opened the door and walked out, he shouted, "Come back, the price you said." Luo Feng, Gao Feng, Chenggu, and the others exchanged glances and let out a smile. Within the HR Alliance market, there were a dozen or so managers who purchased monster materials. The HR Alliance market adopted an elimination system. After a year, whoever's performance was the worst would be immediately stripped of their position as manager. Naturally, there would be new people to replace them. Under such great pressure, the managers naturally thought of ways to collect monster materials from the martial artists. In the office, you martial artists nowadays are too ruthless. As Manager Feng transferred the money, he sighed, the managers of the various regions, and even the agents. There were also some martial artists who came to purchase monster materials from other martial artists. Due to the competition, the prices have become clear, and our profits are getting lower and lower. Seeing that you guys earned 800 million in one go, I, old Feng, also want to enter the wilderness to kill monsters. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that my old bones can't even beat a soldier-level monster. As he spoke, Manager Feng went through all the procedures for the transfer. Manager Feng, you've been in this business for so many years. Your personal assets probably aren't any less than mine, laughed Gao Feng. I was lucky. Occasionally, I come across a big deal, and I can earn a bit from it. Manager Feng let out a smile. Gao Feng laughed. You'll earn at least 8 digits from this deal. Not that much. Manager Feng shook his head. Okay, it's done. The 800 million Chinese dollars has already been transferred to your fighter squad's account. Gao Feng and Chenggu, the captain and vice captain, both received a notification on their tactical communications watches. The notification told them that their accounts had increased by 800 million Chinese dollars. Old Feng, you sure are straightforward, laughed Gao Feng. In the future, when there are big deals like this, you have to take care of me, laughed Manager Feng. Right now, we managers are under a lot of pressure. If I can become a headquarters city manager, then I'll be much more relaxed. Okay, Gao Feng nodded. However, powerful monsters are hard to deal with. My bro's arm was broken. Yeah, a broken arm. Manager Feng shook his head and sighed. Even though there are treasures that can regrow a broken arm, the price is astronomical. But the price is sky high. Ordinary warriors can't even think about it. Regrow a broken arm? Luo Feng's mind went blank. When he first became a fighter, Luo Feng searched for some special medicine on the internet. However, he couldn't find any medicine that could regrow a broken arm or leg. Luo Feng always thought that this medicine didn't exist. There's such a medicine? Gao Feng was also shocked. Manager Feng, what is that? Can a broken leg grow back? Luo Feng also asked excitedly. Holy! His brother has been crippled for so many years. If he can make his brother stand up again, then it would be worth it even if he risked his life. Yes, it's the legendary elixir of life. Not just a broken arm or a broken leg. Even if half a body is cut off, it can grow back, sighed Manager Fong. However, this thing uses an existence that surpasses the Horde leader level, the undefeatable Emperor-level monster, Earth Dragon King, as the main material to create it. How many Earth Dragon Kings are there in the entire world? So, every portion of the elixir of life costs an astronomical price, and it's so rare that it won't be sold on the internet. Our alliance doesn't have any. Right now, the price has already reached 30 billion Chinese dollars per portion, and there's no market for it. 30 billion per portion? There's no market for it? Luo Feng's heart raced as he thought about his brother sitting in his wheelchair and silently looking at the scenery outside. Luo Feng couldn't help but to clench his fist. No matter what, I have to make my brother stand up again. For sure. Chapter 58. However, Luo Feng was very clear on how hard it is to earn 30 billion. A weak low-level Horde leader-level monster can be sold for 500 to 1 billion Chinese dollars. Even if he hunts them by himself and kills 10 Horde leader-level monsters in a year, he'll probably only earn around 5 to 6 billion. Keep in mind that even War God level fighters have a hard time killing Horde leader level monsters. Earning 5 to 6 billion in a year is considered average among War God level fighters. Even so, he'll still have to work hard for 6 to 7 years. What's more, he's not even a War God level fighter right now. He was lucky enough to meet a heavily injured hunter, but how can he be lucky every time? Even though earning 30 billion Chinese dollars is hard. With my potential as a spirit reader, if I work hard, it's not impossible. However, killing the Earth Dragon King. Luo Feng laughed bitterly to himself. The Horde leader level is already terrifying, and the existence that surpasses the Horde leader level, the Emperor level, is the pinnacle of monsters on Earth. And among humans, there are existences that surpass the War God level. For example, the world's strongest fighter, Hong, and the world's second strongest fighter, Thunder God, are existences that surpass the War God level. However, existences like these are extremely rare. Want to kill the Earth Dragon King? Even the strongest fighters on Earth wouldn't dare to say that they're 100% confident. Haha, elixir of life? Captain, when you guys reach the level of the world's strongest fighter, Hong, throw away some money and buy me some elixir of life, laughed Zhang Ke. Zhang Ke laughed. The members of the Fire Hammer Squad couldn't help but laugh. Reaching the level of Hong, to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the government's army, 30 billion is indeed a small amount of money to them. However, how many people in this world can reach that level? Let's go eat, laughed Gao Feng. On the third floor of the HR Alliance's market, in a private room of a restaurant, the table was filled with dishes. The members of the Fire Hammer Squad were all gathered around a laptop at the edge of the room. Captain Gao Feng quickly passed through the fingerprint scanner, keyed in a 3-layered dynamic password, and entered the Fire Hammer Squad's public account. 800 million Chinese dollars, according to what we agreed on before. Luo Feng's contribution from start to finish was all due to Luo Feng, so Luo Feng gets the highest 80%. The other 5 of us will split the last 20%. No objections, right? Gao Feng looked towards everyone. Everyone nodded. Luo Feng, too, smiled. The various distribution rules of a martial artist team had to consider both competition and unity. Luo Feng gets 640 million. Each of us gets 32 million. Gao Feng swiftly transferred the money. Transfer successful. Notifications appeared on the computer one after another. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at his tactical communications watch. The tactical communications watch already received a notification. His balance increased by another 640 million. Luo Feng is treating today, laughed Gao Feng as he yelled. That's right, we're going to rip off some rich people. Xingu also had an indignant look on his face. *in. This time it's almost catching up to what I've earned over the years. It's really enviable. The members of the Fire Hammer Squad chatted and laughed casually, eating and drinking in big mouthfuls. They were very carefree. Every time they came out of the wilderness, they had actually walked out from the line of death. In the wilderness, especially when they entered the dilapidated city area, they were always on tenterhooks. In those cities, no one dared to relax. After all, there were too many monster hordes and commander-level monsters in the cities. Come, let us brothers have a drink. Old Zhang, we've been brothers for almost 10 years. Who knows how many times you've saved me on the battlefield. Enough talk, come. Cheers. Since Zhang Ku was about to leave this table, everyone was a bit sad. At the same time, the addition of Luo Feng, a spirit reader, filled everyone with hope for the future. Everyone's feelings were complicated, so they happily drank and chatted. Only after eating until around 9 p.m. did the group enter a tea house and find a room to rest. In the room, everyone had a cup of tea in front of them. Zhang Ku will be an instructor in the dojo from now on. Gao Feng looked at everyone. Our Fire Hammer squad will have 5 people in the future. Me, Luo Feng, Chungu, Wei Tai, and Wei Qing. And Luo Feng is a spirit reader, so he's stronger than me right now. His improvement speed will definitely be even more shocking. No one was unhappy that Luo Feng was strong. With a strong fighter in the squad, the survival rate of the squad is higher. It's easier for the squad to hunt monsters, and they earn more money. For example, if Luo Feng didn't kill the hunter, how could the other members of the squad get 32 million? Even though Luo Feng ate the meat and they only drank the soup, this soup was much more than what they earned from the commander-level monsters they worked so hard to hunt. However, Luo Feng is the strongest out of the 5 of us. I think that we can't drag Luo Feng down, said Gao Feng. Wei Qing and Wei Tai's faces slightly changed. Both of them were advanced warrior level, so they were indeed dragging Luo Feng down. Captain, I'm also a newbie, Luo Feng couldn't help but to say. Luo Feng, that's not what I meant, smiled Gao Feng. Wei Tai, Wei Qing, you brothers don't think too much. What I meant was that our squad's goal for hunting monsters in the future should be even higher. So the first goal of our Fire Hammer squad, all members must become warlords. Captain, Wei Tai couldn't help but to say, my brother and I are still a bit away from the warlord level. I understand, laughed Gao Feng confidently. I have an idea. Gao Feng smiled confidently. I have an idea. What do you guys think? Luo Feng nodded. Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and Chungu all listened. Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and Chungu, each of you will buy an A-grade genetic medicine, said Gao Feng. This way, just based on body fitness level, Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and you guys can directly enter the beginner level warlord level. Chungu's strength and speed will also greatly increase. Nearing the warlord level, Luo Feng slightly frowned. Right now, the mainstream genetic medicine is split into a grade and B grade. B grade is for normal people to use, allowing them to become a fighter. However, those who rely on genetic medicine to become a fighter usually have average strength in the future. A grade genetic medicine is for fighters to use. After using it, one's strength usually doubles. Of course, if one's strength is already extremely high, the effects of the genetic medicine will decrease. However, in A-grade genetic medicine, even at half price in the dojo of limits, still costs 360 million Chinese dollars. Captain, I've worked hard for so many years, but including today's earnings, I only have 430 million. Wei Tai frowned. With my speed of improvement, the beginner level warlord level is pretty much my limit. I won't be able to make much money in the future, so I'll throw all of it in. After I quit, how much will I have left? People have to think about the future. Money isn't easy to earn. After working hard for over 10 years, I only earned 430 million. And I'm getting old. Spending 360 million to buy genetic medicine? Won't all my years of hard work be wasted on this? Captain, I use hot weapons, so I spend a lot of money. 360 million all at once. Chungu was a bit hesitant. Don't worry, Gao Feng slightly smiled. You don't need that much money to buy an A-grade genetic medicine. Back then, when I just became a fighter, I was still a newbie. At that time, I joined a fighter squad, and I had a life and death brother. Right now, this life and death brother of mine is already an advanced level warlord. He has a way. He only needs 200 million to get a portion of the gene medicine. 200 million? Wei Tai, Wei Qing, and Chungu were shocked. This 200 million? Luo Feng was also shocked. In the Home of Limits online market, half price is basically the lowest price on the market. Even half price costs 360 million, and Gao Feng has a way to buy it for only 200 million? I'll ask my good brother to buy it first. After he buys it, you guys can pay me in exchange for this genetic medicine. Do you guys believe me now? Laugh Gao Feng. Actually, there's something else he didn't say. Only his brother's internal organization has a special discount for internal members. And to prevent internal members from selling it, if they buy too much, the internal organization will raise the price, etc. However, Gao Feng would rather fork out more money himself than let Chenggu, Wei Tai, and Wei Qing fork out more money, since he has more money than the other members of the squad. In the future, everyone in our team will be at the warlord level. Gao Feng slightly smiled. Chenggu will be in charge of suppressing fire and so on. Wei Tai and Wei Qing will be in charge of clearing out the normal soldier-level monsters. Luo Feng and I will focus on the commander-level monsters. With our squad's efficiency, we can definitely kill large amounts of commander-level monsters. In the future, our earning speed will be 10 times faster than before, or even higher. Luo Feng couldn't help but to be happy. According to what Gao Feng said, the future Fire Hammer squad will become absolute elites, with the entire squad being at the warlord level and him being a spirit reader. This squad's strength will be insane.